faces in new places, both looking for the winning combination of talent, skill, and leadership to carry their teams early in this NFL season. Down goal, 11th play of the drive. Touchdown, Curtis in Chicago. What an impressive drive by Chicago. NFL Week 2 is next. It is a spectacular day for football here in capacity-filled Soldiers Field, where today the Seattle Seahawks take on the Chicago Bears. Chicago beat Kansas City last week. Seattle losing at home to Detroit. The Bears and Hawks next. We're back in Chicago with Sam Wyche. This is Kevin Harlan. Soldier Field on a picture-perfect day for NFL football. Second consecutive home game for the Chicago Bears in Seattle. On the road for the first time, a look at Todd Peterson, who will kick off. And deep back for Chicago, Glenn Milburn to your left, Edgar Bennett to your right. We're underway here on the shores of Lake Michigan. Now they blow it dead with the ball in mid-flight. They stop it, and they'll do it again. Mike Carey's our referee.
Mark ready for play. We'll re-kick from the 30-yard line.
It looks beautiful now on a sun-drenched Sunday afternoon, and you can see people enjoying the outside, but there is a 30% chance of rain later on this afternoon, much like last week in the game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you wouldn't know it looking at the skies right now. It is absolutely crystal clear. Perfect afternoon, really. This wind is not going to be a factor. Sunshine could be, though.
And wind usually is a factor here.
Well, it's the Windy City. It wasn't as windy as Wilmington, North Carolina was this weekend, thanks to Hurricane Floyd. But we've got a perfect afternoon. This should be a barn burner today.
So Peterson has it teed up once again, and here we go from Soldier Field. Glenn Milburn, who was traded from the Packers to the Bears before opening day last year, from the 1-yard line. And with the block and a burst, he's out near the 35 to give the Chicago Bears and their young quarterback, Shane Matthews, outstanding beginning field position. A guy who was cut 3 times by the Bears, made his first career start last week, and he'll have his team 1st and 10 at the 36.
Had the pressure on him all during training camp. There was a battle, of course. Cade McNown, their #1 pick, held out of camp. Shane Matthews, though, earned this right to be the starting quarterback. Had a good start last week. We'll see Cade McNown some point during the ballgame.
They kept talking about a razzle-dazzle offense for Chicago and something that was blossoming on the NFL horizon a week ago. Let's see if it continues here. 1st and 10. Here's what we're talking about. A pass outside to Enos, who had a wonderful day catching and running the ball last week. Picks up a quick 4 yards. Tackle made by James Logan. The Chicago offense on the line. The 2 tackles, Brockemeyer, who comes from Carolina, and Williams were great last week. Guards Perry and Valerio. On the center is second-year player Owen Cruz, who played at the University of Washington. Enos and Halleck in the backfield. Ingram and Conway the wide receivers, and Alonzo Mays is the tight end. 2nd down and 5, and a handoff to Enos, breaking tackles and lunging ahead to the 46-yard line. Tackled by Sean Springs. So a 1st down for the Chicago Bears against the Seahawks defense, which features Michael Sinclair, who led the NFL in sacks last year, Adams, Cortez Kennedy, and Philip Daniels. Linebackers, no Chad Brown today. James Logan will take his place. Anthony Simmons in the middle. Darren Smith is outside. And the secondary, the corners are Springs and Williams. Bellamy and Darrell Williams are the safeties. 1st and 10 for the 46. The pitch out with the block from Todd Perry and a run by Enos. Perhaps a half yard, but no more. As Darren Smith, who came to Seattle from the Philadelphia Eagles, and before that with the Dallas Cowboys, makes the stop. A very underrated player on their defense.
Well, I tell you what, they're going to have to be ready to recognize a lot of things on that side of the ball. And their linebackers, of course, are the ones that are making a lot of the calls. Darren Smith came out of the game a little bit last week with some cramps, as you mentioned. Anthony Simmons had to move over. They were shuffling everybody around. They're hoping today they get to go with their regulars the entire 4 quarters.
You saw Merton Hanks come in, picked up this week. 2nd down and 10, handoff to Curtis Enos, who flies with the robust run of 8 down to the Seattle 46. and tackled by Jay Bellamy.
And the Bears have been coming out flying this season. The first 4 times they had the ball a week ago against Kansas City, they scored. And this is the type of an offense that does start fast because they're going to give you all the looks right away. They're not saving anything for the second half.
3rd down and 2 for Chicago. Helped on a 36-yard kickoff return by Glenn Milburn. On the shotgun, Matthews. Good block by Brockermeyer. And a pass across the middle is caught by Robinson. First down to the Seattle 39. A pickup of 7 yards. Tackle made by Sean Springs. And the Bears pick it up where they left off last week.
Well, they have 3 wide receivers to the right. Springs is going to come. Sean Springs is going to have to make the tackle on Robinson coming across quick to the middle. Now, here's what Chicago's doing. They're getting the ball off so quick that defensively, as the game wears on, those defensive linemen just give up the pass rush. They're wasting their time. The ball's gone before they get there.
It's 1st and 10 with the handoff to the twirling and spinning Curtis Enos to the 31 of Seattle. That's a gain of 7 yards on the play. Darrell Williams makes the tackle for the Hawks in the secondary.
Already today, we've seen 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, 2 tight ends in the ball game, 2 backs with 1 tight end in the ball game. A lot of different looks. And as we talked to Curtis Enos and Curtis Conway yesterday, they said you have to know the whole playbook. That's not just the game plan when you play for the Bears.
2nd down along 2 from the 31. And a pass caught by the tight end. They get the fullback, Ty Howard, for a first down to the 25-yard line. He does play tight end in this offense. He also can play linebacker. He plays 3 positions. A gain of 6. It's another Chicago first down.
Ty Halleck's lined up to the right side. He's going to come in from your screen from left to right, from right to left. He's the fullback / tight end, lined up like a wide receiver. Well, they got to walk a linebacker out to cover him. They left the inside open.
Dazzling array of options for Chicago. Here's a 1st and 10 handoff, and it goes to Glenn Milburn, who can cut the corner. He gets 5, running to the 20-yard line. Milburn is playing for Denver, Detroit, Green Bay, and then traded.
And look, the tackle, excuse me there, Kevin, the tackle has moved over. Brockermeyer's an unbalanced line to the right. You've got 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends to the right, a wide receiver to the left, and the quick pitch to Glenn Milburn to the right. So an unbalanced line for the Chicago Bears. Haven't seen that in preseason or on opening day.
9th play of the game opening drive. 2nd down and 5 from the Seattle 20. Milburn again, boosting free inside the 10 and to the 6. A gain of 14 yards as he lustily takes it to a 1st and goal for the Chicago Bears.
And Glenn Milburn is normally the receiving type back. He's the guy they put in the ball game when they're throwing it. This time straight out of the I backfield. He makes that move off the left side, but has the vision downfield to cut back. And right now, the offensive line of the Bears dominating the defensive line of Seattle. And that was one of Mike Holmgren's things he said he had to do is inside. Adams and Kennedy had to control the inside. They're not doing it now.
1st and goal from the 5. Handoff goes to Enos. He got a block, and then the pocket crumbles, and he's down with no gain on the play. Barging ahead, big number 98, Sam Adams on that line. A guy who has never been a Pro Bowler, but Mike Holmgren loves his jump off the snap.
Well, I tell you what, you have a coach like Mike Holmgren. He likes to see penetration quickly, but immediately under control. He doesn't like to see you coming off the ball and then losing control and just flying up the field. That's when you get those cutbacks. Here's that unbalanced line to the left this time. Motion back.
Good looking drive. 2nd down goal at the 5. Enos bulging ahead. Fumble in the end zone. It's loose and recovered by Seattle. So Curtis Enos, who had been a star on this drive, fumbles it into the end zone, recovered by the Hawks, and Seattle dodges a bullet.
Well, it's just going to go straight off the side. This is just cleanly a hit on the ball. If you can get a helmet on the football, that's when the ball pops loose. Most of those ball carriers, Curtis Enos is a big, strong guy. We talked to him yesterday. He's got plenty of time in that weight room. He'll hold on to the ball unless he gets hit right on it. That's what happened. A big break for Seattle.
On the Chicago turnover in the end zone, touchback to the 20. Glenn Foley hands off to Ricky Waters, who barges ahead up to or near the 25-yard line, picking up 5 yards. Last year at this time, Glenn Foley was the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. Then a dismal performance in St. Louis against the Rams. They yanked him, put in Testaverde, and the rest is history.
Well, he took all the snaps this week. John Kitna, their starter last week, injured. He is probably not going to play today. Glenn Foley out there with about a half a beard like he normally is on game day.
2nd down and 4. Play action by Foley. Got a good block from Jones and throws outside to his fullback, Reggie Brown. A flag is down. A gain of 5 as it stands right now. Barry Minner made the Chicago tackle from the linebacking corps.
Important part of Mike Holmgren's offense is backs that can catch out of the backfield, and of course tight ends stretching the third of the zone up the field.
A Seattle player is down on the near sideline at the 32, and heaven knows Holmgren has seen enough injuries, and it's Reggie Brown.
Boy.
The reserve fullback heading into this year, now a starter, coupled with Waters in the backfield.
Dustin Johnson, who is fullback for them, is out for the rest of the year probably. He had a concussion, second concussion in just a few weeks. Actually had to drill a hole and drain the fluid from his
Holding. Defense number 25. The penalty is declined. The play resulted in a first down.
Tom Carter, Mike Holmgren signed an 8-year, $32 million contract. He is the highest paid coach in the NFL, and I think what he does more than anything else to this organization, he brings credibility and stability to them.
Well, he does, and he is in charge of everything. Now he's the big Weezer, so to speak. He's in charge with the big cheese, you know, the big man, numero uno. He's the guy that will make all the decisions, personnel decisions, who's going to play, what position they play, how long they go. And when when the players know that he has the hammer, they respect him.
On the Brown catch, they get a first down. Here's Foley going deep with the receiver on his target. An incomplete pass looking for 6'4" Sean Dawkins, who caught a couple of touchdown passes last week and comes as a free agent from the Indianapolis Colts. Coverage by Walt Harris. On offense, Walter Jones, a budding star. Kendall has played every game since a rookie. The All-Pro Glover, Habib, and Grant Williams taking the place of the injured Tom Weiner. Ricky Waters is in. Brown is out with the injury. Mays and Dawkins the wide receivers, and Christian Fourier is the tight end. Foley with the second down and 10 from the 31. And the pitch out goes to Waters. A lead block by Brown, and then he's smothered as he gets near the 32-yard line. Whacked on the play by Brian Robinson, number 98 on that line, also from Mike Wells. Robinson and Wells are two of the anchors, along with Flanagan at the tackle, and rookie Russell Davis out of North Carolina on the defensive line. Linebackers Minner, Harris, and McDonald. Minner and Harris are switching positions. Carter and Harris are the cornerbacks. Chris Hudson comes from Jacksonville, and Tony Parrish has moved to strong safety.
Carter coming off a little bit of a calf bruise last week. He is starting to place Terry Cousins ready to go if he can out.
Third down and 9. Good blocking by Williams. A long wobbly throw, and he's got a receiver, Mays, and he overshoots him incomplete. Foley with the pocket crumbling around him. Look for the ex-Green Bay Packer, Derek Mays, who was acquired in training camp in a trade with the Packers. And Foley has to go back to the bench with the punt coming up for Seattle.
Watch Glenn Foley step up into the pocket when the pressure arrives there. You see him climb up into the pocket. That buys you most of your time. You can feel the pocket closing. If the tackles know that you're going to step up, they'll push him on by. Derek Mays, though, a lot of interesting stories about him. We'll talk about him during the game. Played for Mike Holmgren in Green Bay. Mike said he didn't think he'd be playing here again, but due to injuries.
Punt by Jeff Fiegels, retrieved back at the 16-yard line. Looking into that sun by Glenn Milburn. Shifting gear. He's got the punter to beat, and he blows by him and takes it down to the Seattle 29-yard line. An electrifying return by Milburn, good for 54 yards on the 52-yard punt. And he did this last year, returned a punt for a touchdown and 2 kickoffs for touchdown. And Dick Geron knows that he has got a great star in Milburn.
You know, he changes everything when he's in the ball game, and he changes everything for the blockers up in front. They know this guy's going to make something happen, so they stay with their blocks a little bit longer. They give him that one little extra step, and with his speed, and notice where he was running, straight up the field. He wasn't going sideways on that return. Here's the unbalanced line look.
On the Seattle 30, end around, goes to Conway. A block by the quarterback Matthews. Another block by the center Krutz. And he can only get back to the 31-yard line, losing about a yard on the play. Conway, coming into this game today, led the NFL wide receiving corps with 9 catches a week ago.
Now here's the pitch. Conway's going to be coming back around this side right here. There are only 2 blockers on the backside. What the Bears were looking for was an overshift by the defensive line, but you see this pursuit. See the containment coming up at the top of the screen right there. That time, Philip Daniels didn't let the reverse unfold.
Second down and 12. Looks like he's checking off. On the 31. Lead blocked by Halleck, and then a flag is thrown as Michael Sinclair just inhales Curtis Enos. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
You know, with Chad Brown out today, Michael Sinclair has to be the guy on that defensive front seven to make things happen. You don't see that one called very much. Offensive clipping. Usually a lineman, if he thinks he's going to miss a block, sticks a leg out there, tries to clip. It's illegal, but you just don't see it called very often. It is a penalty.
And there's Sinclair.
Tripping. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
That's Todd Perry. Now that's different than clipping from behind. When you go up and hit a guy from behind, this is really tripping more than it is clipping. They call it pretty much the same thing, but it's tripping a would-be blocker, just trying to throw every part of your body out at him.
And a huge penalty. It pushes it back outside the Seattle 41, where it's second down and 22. Three wide receivers deployed for Matthews. Good block by Brockemeyer, and he swings it downfield, and it's caught by Bobby Ingram. A flag has been thrown. Ingram to the 25 of Seattle. Gain of 16 as it stands right now, as you see scores in the bottom of your screen.
That time Seattle went with 8 defenders, and they still got it in. Only 3 men rushed. Going to be a penalty, though, against Seattle. That'll be an automatic first down.
Mike Holmgren, the winningest head coach over the last 5 years in the NFL, replacing Dennis Erickson, who took the team to an 8-8 record last year. And really, with a couple of different calls down the stretch, that coaching staff may have survived, and Holmgren would remain in Green Bay.
Well, the classic one, of course, is Benny Testaverde's quarterback sneak, called a touchdown.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 27. 5 yards, automatic, first down.
27 is Willie Williams, the ex-Pittsburgh Steeler.
And of the young head coaches winning their opener, pretty good company right there. George Halas, Neil Armstrong, and of course, Dick Geron, 1999's edition here for the Chicago Bears. Played well last week, too, against Kansas City.
Very under control game. First down and 10 from the 36 of the Seahawks after the blistering 54-yard return. A busted play, and Matthews goes down. The pressure was all over him. Darren Smith was on him very, very quickly. And then up the middle, the great rush by Cortez Kennedy.
He's just done. Now here's the quarterback. He's going to take just a 2-step drop, but he doesn't quite get a grip. You see the ball come out of his hand? There was really not the pressure, although right up the middle right there, Sam Adams wasn't going to give him much more time, but he lost a grip on it. Last week he lost grip on the ball. It was picked up and run back 70 yards for a touchdown against Kansas City. Actually got Kansas City back into the ball game.
Now second and 13 from the 40. Scoreless game. Bears fumbled into the end zone on their first possession. Empty backfield for Matthews, and across the middle he goes. Caught by tight end John Allred, tackled by Anthony Simmons. A gain of 9. Allred made a touchdown catch last week, his first catch in 2 years on this Bears team. And he's working with the bad hand. During the offseason, his hand needed 30 stitches after he tried to separate 2 fighting dogs. In fact, you can see it right there, heavily taped still to this day.
2 dogs fighting?
2 dogs fighting.
There they were. Actually, he's considered probably their best blocking tight end as well. And they give him another look. This time 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 running back.
Third down and 4 from the 31. Good block by Enos, buying time for Matthews. It throws a pass, and it's incomplete. I don't know why Ingram jumped, but he was double covered. Incomplete pass. No flag on the play. And it's 4th down, and they'll try the field goal. Jeff Jager is out. The veteran of so many years and a one-time Pro Bowler. He is out with a hip flexor, missed the entire preseason. So after Detroit cut Brian Gowans, who, by the way, kicked up at Northwestern, he was picked up by the Bears, was 2 of 2 last week from 21 and 24 yards. He, in fact, kicked in the Rose Bowl for the Wildcats at Northwestern. And here he goes on the hold by Sauerbrunn, a 50-yard attempt. And the kick is up, and the kick is short and wide to the right. Kicking into the wind, tough for a rookie, missing from 50 yards away. So the Bears had 2 chances to score, and they have it both times. Seattle still a scoreless game.
CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Agilent Technologies, dreams made real. And by Dodge.
A gorgeous day here in Chicago. From the 40, Seattle will have it first down and 10. Waters in the backfield with Brown, and Foley handing off to Ricky Waters, who sidesteps one defender and then takes it up to the 48, gaining perhaps 8 yards on the play. And today for Ricky Waters, his 90th consecutive start. Very durable guy. Well, Tuesday on CBS, Jag, America's #1 action drama, takes you to the most dangerous place on earth. Catch David James Elliott and Catherine Bell on the season premiere of Jag, Tuesdays on CBS. Second down and 2. Mays shifting position for Foley. Hand off to Waters, a block by Fourier. He sidesteps the defender and slithers for a first down, gaining 5 to the 47 of Chicago. Sean Harris makes the tackle.
You know, Seattle has really been out of the playoffs for so long. 1988, if you want me to walk down memory lane there, we beat the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs that year on our way, Cincinnati Bengals way to the Super Bowl. But they've not been in the playoffs for a long time. They've actually they've lost 24 ball games over the last 2 years, so they are ready to turn it around in Seattle with Mike Holmgren.
First down and 10 from the Chicago 47. Waters again, breaking one tackle. There goes a flag, and Waters finally hauled down in the secondary after a gain of 7 by Hudson and Parrish. Ricky Waters has gained 1,000 yards 4 consecutive times, 5 times in his career. And here is a face mask against the Bears.
Grabbing at Ricky Waters did not have a big day yet last week. In fact, running the ball, the Seahawks did not have a big day.
Just 21 yards for Waters.
And 31 for the entire team.
Incidental face mask on the defense in the middle of the line. 5 yards. The measurement ends up in a first down.
So it wasn't the major face mask, just the garden variety face mask, 5 yards.
Those don't hurt too bad. Ricky Waters, 5-time Pro Bowler. I'll tell you, just about everywhere he goes, he impacts the football team. The 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, and of course now in Seattle. Outspoken guy, give me the ball. He'll make something happen.
He's played in the West Coast offense before when he was with San Francisco. And a timeout taken by Glenn Foley. He'll go talk with Mike Holmgren. Holmgren initially wanted to get, after he released Moon and Freeze, Perrott, but he wasn't available. Then Doug Peterson, he went to Philadelphia, so they settled for Foley.
Air Sports, showcase of college football's SEC and Big East conferences.
With Sam Wyche, Kevin Harlan, first and 10. Good-looking drive put together by Seattle after Chicago missed a field goal from the 35 of the Bears. Pitch out to Waters, pulling block by Kendall. He gets away from Wells. And then Chicago, with an avalanche of defenders, comes and brings him down at the 37, losing 2 on the play. Folks, a reminder, log on to the NFL and vote in the continuing series of the best NFL photos of the century. This week, the theme is leaks. Only at www.nfl.com. Second down and 13. Bears have had 2 chances to score. Foley taking the place for the injured John Kitna at the 37. Waters again. Good block by Kendall. And a lead block from Brown, but no gain on the play as Mike Wells is there again. A guy who was acquired from the St. Louis Rams, number 97, led the defensive line in tackles a year ago as you look at Stores, and the Vikings on top of Oakland early.
Detroit, after last week's big win over the Seattle Seahawks, just trailing by 3. I tell you, this year, New England trailing Indianapolis, one of the surprise teams in the league to me, Indianapolis Colts. And Miami after their big win over Denver.
3rd and 13 from the Chicago 37. Foley rolls out of the pocket, throws downfield, has the receiver, but again, a pass uncatchable, zeroing in on Sean Dawkins. Incomplete pass, and another punt coming up for Seattle.
Sean Dawkins, big tall guy going up against Tom Carter, another 6-foot cornerback. Now the quarterback right about now is rolling out to his left. As soon as Dawkins turns around, he's going to see it and see him come back to the ball, see him losing ground. That's what a receiver should do. He should run away from the defender, abandon the pass route once he turns around and finds that quarterback out of pocket.
Jeff Fiegels, the #1 rated punter in the NFL in terms of net yards, #3 overall. We'll get the snap from Greg Gladorn, and here's his punt into the end zone. Gladorn is snapping in place of the injured Deems May. 37-yard punt. And we're going to see Cade McNown come in for the Chicago Bears in a scoreless first quarter.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. What are you looking at? And by the NASDAQ stock market.
Sam Wyche, Kevin Harlan back in beautiful Chicago, Illinois, historic Soldier Field. The new quarterback for the Chicago Bears, Cade McNown, and they do this. They'll put him in for, 10, 12 plays, and they'll bring back in Matthews.
They say 1, maybe 2 series. Last time the series carried all the way down, got a field goal out of it.
On his 20, first down and 10. Great time, wide open tight end on the near side is Ryan Wetnight, who used to play for Bill Walsh at Stanford, a gain of 4 right there. Cade McNown starting as a sophomore, great junior year. His senior year, he finished #3 in the Heisman voting.
And he started out just this way last week. He was in the shotgun, nobody else in the backfield with him, just snapping the ball, putting the ball in the air right away. For a young player, he does show an awful lot of poise.
He was absolutely great last week. 2nd down and 6. Hand off to Curtis Enos, who fumbled into the end zone on the first drive of the game and picks up 3 right there for his tackle in the second. Watched network.
For anybody else that owns a Harley like I do, it's deja vu.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been there, kicked that clutch.
And crashed it. 3rd down and 3 from the 27. Macy Brooks in motion. Play action. Here comes the rush. He gets away from Philip Daniels. He's being chased by Adams. Sheds him. McNown, a great scrambler in college, throws it away down the sideline. How he got away and pulled the Houdini, I don't know, but he broke 2 oncoming Seahawks, and it's 3 and out for the Chicago Bears.
I wouldn't call this guy a pure scrambler, but he's a very strong scrambler. Watch when he finds no one open. Actually, there was a receiver nowhere coming across the field, probably a blown route. Right there. That was Sam Adams that just had a big paw, and believe me, he's strong enough to bring you down with one grip, but a good, strong quarterback as well as good movement in and out of the pocket.
Todd Sauerbrunn will punt for the Chicago Bears, a former 3rd-round pick. High hanging punt. Under it, the rookie, Rogers from Georgia Tech, and Charlie Rogers breaking tackles. He fumbled last week, and here he goes into Chicago territory, down near the 40-yard line. And Rogers, who was a running back and wide receiver at Georgia Tech, a 5th-round pick by the Seattle Seahawks, returns at 34 yards on the 48-yard punt, but the penalty flag may wipe it away. This is on the Chicago Bears. If it's on Chicago across the way, Seattle will probably decline it and take it deep in Chicago territory.
Illegal formation, offense, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. Play results in a first down.
And the first big break for the Seahawks.
Well, it is. Actually, they made their own break that time. They were able to decline that penalty. You have to have 7 on the line, just like you do from the regular snap on first down.
Timeout. 35-yard return by #31. The rookie from Georgia Tech, Charlie Rogers, has put the Seahawks with their best beginning field position today at the 40-yard line of Chicago. Foley, 1 of 4. Hands off on first down. Gives it off to Ricky Waters, gaining 2 yards right there, bringing up 2nd down and 8. Tackle made by Barry Minner, the outside linebacker.
And the Chicago Bears creeping up defensively with Glenn Foley there in a quarterback in place of John Kitna. Even though he's a veteran, he's played. Remember, he hasn't started this year. He did take all the snaps during the practice week with the starting unit. But the Bears are playing the run first and defending the pass second.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The Bears had 2 opportunities to score and blew it both times. The most interesting play was the fumble into the end zone by Curtis Enos, which was recovered by the Seahawks and stopped the Bears dead in their tracks on the game opening drive. We have no score. John Kitna in the first game last week against Detroit threw 2 touchdown passes, no picks, 20 of 30, but late in the game his center stepped on his toe. He has turf toe, not playing today.
No, part of those 6 sacks will do that to you a little bit. The fact that he played the entire ball game, had over 200 yards, didn't throw the interception, all those are things that Mike Holmgren's looking for in his quarterback. But he told us yesterday, Mike Holmgren told us yesterday, that he is not convinced. There's still some proof that this kid has to show him that he is the starter for the future.
So in that game last week, they lose their starting quarterback, John Kitna. They lose their starting right tackle in Todd Weiner. They lose Charles Jordan, the starting receiver, and they lost the game.
And of course on defense, Fred Thomas and Chad Brown. Don't forget him.
First play of the second quarter for Foley. Second down and 8. Throws a short pass to Neely, the tight end, which is bobbled, juggled. Was it picked off? They rule it was. And the Chicago Bears have it. Whether it was an interception or a fumble, it's hard to say. And Harris running downfield, feeling he was untouched. Let's watch it again.
All right. The ball is stripped loose. That will probably be called a fumble because the ball does hit the ground. Picked up possession before he goes out of bounds. Possession, both feet are down. There's the fumble. And then the pickup real quick. Walt Harris.
Scoreless game. We're early in the second quarter with Sam Wyche, Kevin Harlan. Interesting story written by NFL writer Don Pearson in the Chicago Tribune today about Mike Holmgren.
Well, it's right. He was talking about Mike Holmgren would have loved to have coached in Chicago. Well, I guess everybody, when you're looking for a job, you would like to coach there. But he has family here. His wife went to North Park College. He's got a daughter that's going to North Park College. So this would have been a good place for him as well as Seattle.
First down and 10. Little roam for Enos outside, a gain of 3 on the play. Well, the interesting thing about it was he felt that the situation here wasn't built around having one guy in charge of both football and coaching.
Well, he wanted complete control, which he got in Seattle, and you're right. It was, he mentioned in the article, this would never happen or will never happen in Chicago. It's just not the way the organization is put together. And I can tell you, around the league, there are lots of different ways that organizations are put together. But Mike Holmgren wanted complete control, and even though this would have been a convenient place in terms of his family being here, Seattle is the ideal place for him professionally. Right over the middle, Shane Matthews had the man wide open. Cade McNown came in for his 2, and he's out, or 2 or 3 snaps, rather.
Third down and 6. From the Chicago Bears 35-yard line. Blitz is on by Merton Hanks. He's all over the quarterback, and Hanks signed this week. Sacks the quarterback, Shane Matthews. 8 years with San Francisco, 4 years a Pro Bowler, but a salary cap casualty with the 49ers when Fred Thomas broke his leg last week. They picked up Hanks earlier in the week.
And here you see Merton Hanks. He's going to come creeping in the shotgun formation. The blocker is over here on this side. He steps to the left. No one blocked to the right. The lineman tries to come out and pick up Merton Hanks. Not quick enough.
So the Bears have got a punt. Sauerbrunn gets a low line drive away. Picked up by Rodgers, who returned the last one 35 yards. There's a block by Hanks, and Rodgers is up to the 37-yard line of Seattle. Tackled by Frankie Smith, who was a Pro Bowl alternate a season ago for Chicago. 48-yard punt. Have a timeout on the field.
On CBS is sponsored by Fidelity Investments, Microsoft, where do you want to go today? And by Coors Light, proud partner of the John Wayne Cancer Institute and their search for a cure.
Each team has turned it over. Curtis Enos fumbled into the end zone on the game-opening drive for the Bears. Seattle fumbled. Hawks have it back from their own 37, first and 10. A quick outside pass caught by fullback Reggie Brown. And he gains perhaps 2 on the play, tackled by Sean Harrison. Coming up on the NASDAQ Halftime Report, Jim Nantz, Craig James, Randy Cross, and Jerry Glanville will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. Plus, Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms will have a report from Arrowhead and Kansas City on the Broncos and Chiefs game. All coming up next on the NASDAQ Halftime Report.
Denver, of course, all season long, the microscope will be on them in their quarterback position. Bob Greasy, though, looked mighty good in that controlled passing game in Denver.
Number 39, second down 8, going deep down the sideline and incomplete. Zeroing in on Mike Pritchard. The coverage applied by Walt Harris. Pritchard has been injured since August 21st with the knee. Came back and practiced this week for the first time. Ran some routes. And the one thing he was most concerned about, Sam, was his stamina.
Well, conditioning goes away when you're out for 3.5 weeks. He was injured on August 21st, so he's been basically standing around doing those little conditioning drills in the locker room. You don't get the same kind of running going on, and you can't change direction. Remember, running with change of direction is entirely different kind of conditioning.
3rd and 8. Seattle is yet to convert a 3rd down. Here comes the blitz, and Holtman gets him. A sack by Texas A&M rookie Warwick Holtman. He was the star of training camp and a 4th-round pick out of the Aggie program in College Station.
Right here. Here he comes. He's going to come straight up the field. Warwick Holtman, one of the best pure athletes on the field. Now watch him avoid the one blocker who tries to recover back outside. Can't get there. The pressure too quick. You can't get a receiver open as fast as Warwick Holtman got to the quarterback.
So here comes Fiegels to punt, a guy who was punted for New England, Philadelphia, and Arizona, and they throw the flags and stop it before it has a chance to go. Looked like a flag on the Hawks. Good crew working today, led by referee. Well, they're going to call it on Chicago, by Mike Carey, a referee. Let's hear his description.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense in the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction from the offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
Now the rule is that if the defense causes the offense to flinch, basically their movement caused a reaction by the offensive player, that it's a penalty against the defense. Now the officials have got some cleanup duty there with their flag. They got it.
Blade-orange snap to Fiegels, and he lost the ball. It's loose. It's a fumble, and he's down at the 30. The pile right there. Chicago has it. Another miscue by the special teams. A high snap over Fiegels last week by Deems May. Here is a good snap, but a juggled reception by the punter.
He's got possession. Now he starts, and he just like he loses possession of the ball. He could feel the pressure coming because there was an all-out blitz on the punter. Fiegels that time, though, I think took his eye off the ball, lost his concentration for a moment. Last week, the ball went sailing over his head, as you mentioned. Deems May, who's not active today, by the way, because of an injury, not because of the long snap. But they've had a lot of problems with special teams already this season. 3 of them last week and 1 today.
And they've got a good coach in Pete Rodriguez, who is the only carryover from the Erickson crew from last year. And 1st and 10, the handoff goes to Enos. He keeps his footing and then barrels ahead near the 26-yard line, gaining 4. When it looked like he might be thrown for a loss, and James Logan taking the place of the injured Chad. The injured Chad Brown makes the tackle.
Overship. Now look at all the tight ends and the blockers leading to the left. They've got a tight end on the backside. You can see him blocking and sealing off. That's so that the cutback can happen. And Curtis Enos was trying to get back to the backside. When he loses his footing, gets back up, still picks up 2 or 3 yards.
2nd down and 6. From the 27. Play action. Good block by Fruits, and a pass down the sideline is caught, but was it inbounds? Out of bounds was wide receiver Bobby Ingram.
Bobby Ingram is really stealing a throw, what looks like a throw. Now watch him go up. If both feet come down inbounds, it doesn't matter what else hits after that. But it looks like his right foot is on the chalk. It is clearly out of bounds. Now the coaches upstairs saw that. That one will not be reviewed. It should not be an appeal on that one because clearly he was out of bounds.
Good effort nonetheless. As you see, the Vikings still leading Oakland. Oakland losing in Green Bay in the last second throw by Brett Favre. And those aforementioned Packers losing in Detroit. They have the hardest time winning in the Silver Dome.
They do. I'll tell you what, there's something else going on there in Indianapolis too. Another dome situation. Arizona getting beat by Miami.
3rd down and 6. Matthews from the shotgun from the 27. Good block by Williams. Matthews moves up, finds a receiver showing outstanding patience. And it's Macy Brooks across the middle. A gain of 15 on the play. Macy Brooks, a 4th-round pick by the Dallas Cowboys last year. Let go, joined the Bears, played on the practice squad, and now has made the team on their full-time roster this year.
And Macy Brooks is going to come across. He got a little game going here, a little stunt on the defense. Steps up into the pocket, 6 foot 5 inch tall Macy Brooks makes the catch. Tries to do that little high hurdle over the last tackle.
How about the patience by Matthews standing in the pocket waiting for the route to develop?
Doesn't look like it's his 2nd NFL start, does it? This guy's got a lot of poise. Of course, he played a big-time program there at the University of Florida.
Where he set 50 records for Steve Spurrier. 50 of them. Handoff to Enos, spinning and turning his way all the way to the 2. He'll be close to a 1st down. picking up at least 9, maybe more. Tackle made by Smith of Seattle.
You see the left guard that time. Todd Perry pulls to the right. Now watch the spin right here. Here's where you really got to hug the ball. The last time the Bears were down tight like this, they fumbled into the end zone, cost themselves a 7-point play.
First and goal from the 2-yard line for Matthews. They do get the first down. It's Enos again, following a block. Touchdown, Chicago.
Off the left side. Now the Bears are controlling the big men, Kennedy and Adams inside, and they're leaving the outside that tackle area. The first guy to really make a hit was Willie Williams, the defensive back.
Extra point by Goins is up and in. And what set this up was the bobbled punt attempt by Fiegels, which was recovered by Chicago at the Seattle 31. Enos from 2 yards away. It's the Bears by 7. First drive by the Chicago Bears today. Enos fumbled into the end zone. They lost it. That time he held on tight, rolling in from 2 yards away, and the Bears on top.
They lost one last week, lost 6 last year inside the red zone like that.
Here's the kickoff by Sauerbrunn, taken by Rodgers from the 5-yard line. And that's the return for Seattle. Parrish makes the tackle.
Chicago's first-year staff. Now, I'm just a little helper here. First thing that happens when you're beginning, anticipate the next situation, not just the next play, but the next down and distance situation. Don't follow the ball. Sometimes you start to look at the ball and don't look at your particular position. Stick with the plays that are practiced. Don't draw anything up on that sideline as much as you want to. Know what's working and what's not. Keep a list of how you're doing and know when to fold them. Know when it's a good time to go ahead and just go back to basics.
On the 29, Glenn Foley, first and 10 for the Seattle Seahawks. Mealy is in motion. The pitch out to Waters. There's a block by Glover, but no place to go for Ricky Waters, who's maybe good for a gain of a yard right there. And then plowed under by a host of Bears, leading it Shane Burton, who was acquired from Miami.
Chicago Bears run defense, as it has been all preseason and last week, still strong. Dick Duran wanted that pass defense. They wanted the pressure getting up the field. That was one of the areas they needed to improve the most. They've done a good job there as well.
Dick Duran was on Mike Holmgren's staff up in Green Bay in the early 90s.
Coaches get to know each other. If you stick around long enough, you run across a lot of coaches, either coaching against them or on the same staff.
Second and 9. Here comes the rush, and down he goes. He's sacked on the play. The rush coming from Burton and Van Tuinen. That's the second sack. Tuinen was just picked up last week off waivers.
And here's where the rush coming from this side right here, right up the chute. Now watch, there's going to be a little bit of pressure to begin with, and then Van Tuinen is going to clean up. Coming from the outside, Tuinen now, everybody is closing in. Actually, they had plenty of pressure. The quarterback likes to move up in the pocket. He couldn't move up, and he couldn't move laterally.
Like you said earlier, last week Kittner was sacked 6 times already, twice by the Bears today. Foley going down, 3rd and 11 on the 27.
Pressure again.
Down he goes again, the 3rd sack. This one authored by Brian Robinson. Picked off the waiver wire last year after St. Louis let him go.
Watch at the end of this play. Watch the offensive linemen of the Seattle Seahawks and see how many of them are standing straight up in the play. Right here, right there. Watch it. The play's over and you see a lot of offensive linemen standing up with their hands by their side. They're not finishing the play.
Veteran Jeff Fiegels, the father of 4 boys, just gets it away as Halleck almost got a hand on it. And Milburn will wave it off. It takes a great Chicago bounce near midfield. That's a punt of 31 yards. So everything rolling right now for the Chicago Bears. A 2-yard touchdown run by Enos. A sack moments ago by Robinson. It's the Bears by 7 in the second.
CBS is sponsored by Gateway. Call Gateway and connect with us. And by Burger King.
Mike Grogan has had a tough couple weeks, the coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, he said after the ballgame last week when they were defeated by Detroit at home that they had their collective buttocks beat, and they are getting it again here. All parts of the game, Chicago is just out hitting them again.
Bears have it from the 49, 1st and 10. Here comes Curtis Enos again, darting and dancing his way into Seattle territory, gaining 5. Brought down in the play by Williams. Monday on CBS, it's the night of premieres, beginning with The King of Queens, starring Kevin James, then The Ladies' Man, starring Alfred Molina and Sharon Lawrence, followed by the premiere of Everybody Loves Raymond, and Ted Danson returns as Becker, followed by the series premiere of Family Law. Monday on CBS, America's most watched.
You can pick out your favorite one right there. You just sit down start to finish and spend the evening at home.
Great night, 2nd and 5, and a great run by Enos again, darting up the middle, close to a first down. James Logan makes the tackle for Seattle, losing last week 28-20 at home in the Kingdome in front of a sellout to the Detroit Lions. And the Lions right now beating Green Bay up at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah, well, it's still taking anything away from the team that wins, the Detroit Lions last week. Cortez Kennedy, though, and Sam Adams, the 2 interior defensive linemen, the big guys inside, they've got to be the first people to stop this running game in Chicago.
It's 3rd down and 1 from the Seattle 42. Enos. Darren Smith got a hand on him, and then he was plowed under, and it appears as though, as we look at it right now, that'll be shy of the first down. Let's see where they spot it.
So many of these first downs, make or break, are on the spot, exactly what you said. The old left foot, right foot when the official comes in from the sideline, either the line judge or the head linesman, and they try to measure forward progress as best they can, but there are too many bodies in there. You just got to make your best judgment call. The officials, it's amazing how many times when you look at the film, though, are dead on the money with it.
Sam, what's your read as we kind of shift gears? They're going to take a look and see how close the Bears are. What's your read on the Joey Galloway situation for Holmgren?
Well, he told us yesterday that he's done all he can do for practical reasons. One being the cap. He's offered him $32 million, I think it is, something like that. $35 million with a $7 million bonus. First down, Chicago. We hear the roar. But Galloway's situation is this. He may be arguing, you know, good money against bad. He can't get any more. There isn't any more to be had, and he's not going to be traded, I don't think. Although October the 19th is the trading deadline, and when it gets closer to that, if the offer's good enough, you never know what decision Mike Holmgren might make.
Well, he says he's willing to sit out the NFL season. Today he's playing flag football with his brothers in Columbus, Ohio.
That helps the team.
1st and 10. Play action. Good block by Allred, buying the quarterback time, and the pass is caught by tight end Alonzo Mays. A starter last year as a rookie and a guy who played some college basketball for Eddie Sutton down at Oklahoma State.
Mays is going to come up the field right here and break to the outside. Now, his quarterback is setting and looking right the entire time, but he gets that one-on-one situation. Did you notice the flight of the ball? There was nobody, no linebacker, no one interrupting the flight of the ball. I used to tell my quarterbacks the intercept people are the people between you and the reception, not that cornerback. You'll beat him every time.
Vikings on top by 7. Other scores across the bottom of your screen. 1st down and 10 from the 30. 7-0 Bears. Outside it goes to Harlan, the fullback, who ran right out there, was uncovered, then finally lassoed by James Logan. And a minimal gain on the play. Logan, you see right there, taking the place of Chad Brown. Logan last year was finally breaking into the starting lineup in the linebacking corps, then broke his leg, and then he was out for the year. A guy who's been in Cincinnati, Houston, and now Seattle.
Yeah, Cincinnati gave up on him in '95. He came in there and played. They had other injuries. Darren Smith, late in that ball game last week, had cramps in his back, upper body, and Anthony Simmons had to move over, so they had a lot of problems last week.
A lot of problems on that play. A 2nd and 8 toss outside. Rush came on. Darren Smith was flying up the middle, and there you take a good look at Sam Adams, who takes about 2 or 3 slots on that defensive line.
Well, I tell you, Sam Adams, and I mentioned Cortez Kennedy, the 2 big guys in that interior line, have to get some penetration up the field. When I say that, I don't mean control the line of scrimmage. Control the other side of the line of scrimmage. Get on up there and then get under control so that you can make a play. Mike Holmgren's argument with these guys, they get up the field and they're out of control. They can't make the play.
3rd and 8 for the Bears. First time today they have had a 3rd and long. Good block by Valerio. The pass right on the money and caught at the 14-yard line.
Jay Bellamy in on the tackle.
By the tight end on the play. What night? A gain of 14.
Coming from right side to left. The protection makes this play happen. If he doesn't have this much time, Wed Knight is not going to get all the way across the field because he is lined up wide to the right, not in the traditional tight end spot. Two tight ends again, extra protection there.
From the 14, the pitch out to Enos, who cuts against the grain and then goes for 4 yards down to the 10. Finally brought down by Logan.
And the pitch is just going to happen to the right. This is going to be solid. Wall him off right here. Let's see if an interior lineman pulls. There he comes. The right guard is going to come around and actually be the lead blocker. Chris Valerio, and then Curtis Enos is going to pick his spot. What's one of those old Vince Lombardi run to daylight? You pitch it out there, we'll give you a lead blocker. You run to the daylight.
Enos is checked out. Milburn is checked in. 2nd down and 6. It's Milburn with a flag thrown across the way. No gain on the play. Hawks read it well, as you see Riddick Parker getting off that pile on the defensive line. And the flag is tossed against the Bears.
Bears seem to be working their right side a little more than their left side. You go into a ball game generally feeling like you've got a little edge one way or the other. Inside or outside, right side or left side. Just off what we've seen, it looks like the right side is the featured side for the Bears today.
What do you think of this offense? A lot was written in the Chicago papers earlier this week as we take a listen to Mike Carey.
Illegal formation, offense, number 71, and an eligible number was lined up in an eligible position. 5 yards, 2nd down.
I mean, how innovative truly is it?
Well, he's taking so many different aspects of the game and plugging them into one offense. It becomes very innovative. The reason it's innovative is it gives the defense so many different problems. The offense is memorizing a limited number of plays, but they're memorizing them from multiple formations, multiple personnel groups. So they don't have as much to remember. It's the same play, but to the defense, it looks like a different defensive problem, and that's what gives them trouble.
Edgar Bennett is checked in, 2nd down 11, 9th play of the Chicago drive from the 15. And here's Edgar Bennett, first carry this year, and he gains 4 down to the 11. Bennett played for Holmgren in Green Bay, led him in rushing for 3 years while with the Packers.
Solid block. Look at the little peel, the solid block to the outside right there. He's making sure that the in man, the contained man, is erased and then straight up the field. Those are the kind of plays you generally don't plan on making 30 yards on them or 20 yards. You plan on making 5 yards and then break a tackle.
Beauty of Bennett, he can also play fullback, which he will right now.
All-purpose back. In this kind of an offense, you've got to have players that can catch, block, and run.
3rd down and 7 from the 10. The Bears have converted their last 3 third downs. Great time for Matthews. Good blocking by James Big Cat Williams. Here comes Sinclair. Matthews will throw it away very wisely. Now why not when you have the sack leader in the NFL from a year ago bearing down on him?
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael Sinclair, to me, on that particular play was the only defensive lineman working. Everybody else took about 3 steps, gave up, literally gave up. Sinclair's lined up right here on the outside. Now, everybody else, it's only a 3-man rush coming right here. The 3-man, now watch, everybody, there's the stop. There's nobody around. They just quit. Here comes Sinclair. He reacts to it and forces the throwaway.
29-yard field goal try by Brian Goins. He missed earlier in the game from 50. Sauerbrunn on the hold. And this kick is up and just squeezes through the upright. 3 more for the Chicago Bears, who are shutting out the Seattle Seahawks in week 2 of the NFL, 10-0. And it's 10-0 Chicago Bears shutting out the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, offensively, they're having a lot of trouble getting things going. Now, we know there's injuries. Of course, the holdout of the wide receiver, injuries to the wide receiver group. But on 20 plays, 20 yards. That's a 1.0 average for the Seahawks. Last week, they averaged 1.9 on the ground. You're not going to win many ball games that way, especially if your defense is wearing down, and that's what's happening with Seattle.
And Sam, this had to be one of the most anticipated seasons in the history of the franchise. And to have it start like this is the rookie Charlie Rogers grabs it inside the 5 and then was drilled at about the 22-yard line. Jerry Azuma, one of the most decorated small college running backs in history in New Hampshire, now converted to a defensive back with the Bears, makes the stop. Monday on CBS, it's what you waited for all summer long. Don't miss the shocking season premiere of the #1 comedy on television. Everybody Loves Raymond. A brand new season starts Monday right here on CBS, America's most watched network.
looked like, were you a stand-in for that last body shot right there for Ray
Yes,
Romano?
it was. How could you tell?
Very nice.
Foley on 1st and 10, looking everywhere, and then a flag is thrown, stopping the play in mid-motion. Mike Holmgren was a little bit suspect of Foley's determination when he first came to minicamp.
Ball start offense, number 79. 5 yards, first down.
And then Foley kind of got his act together.
Well, and Foley admitted to that. He took things a little bit too, I won't say that he didn't take football seriously enough, but, you know, sometimes you come across, he was a little bit overweight. His conditioning wasn't where it was supposed to be. You don't go to training camp anymore and get into shape and lose those pounds. Sometimes those big offensive linemen will lose a little bit in camp, but you've got to come in ready to go. Today's football starts too fast. The season is too long. You can't afford to run the risk of that chronic fatigue kicking in.
Good point. With the penalty, 1st and 15 from the 17. Here comes the rush again, the pass. Great catch across the middle by Derek Mays, the ex-Green Bay Packer who played for Holmgren. When Robert Brooks retired for the Green Bay Packers, they thought Mays might take the slot. He didn't get it. Schrader beat him out, and he was traded to Seattle.
Well, we'll see Derek Mays make the catch coming right to left right here, but Mike Holmgren never thought he would be in Seattle or he would be coaching him. He was one of those guys that was kind of an underachiever in Green Bay, and as Mike said, you know, sometimes those guys just grow up. Usually after the coach gets fired, this time he had a chance to go back and bring him to Seattle.
Always injury prone. Here's a 1st down pass, and the ball dropped by Sean Dawkins, who had a monster game last week with 7 catches, a couple touchdown receptions, incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10.
Dawkins is a big receiver. Went up over Terry Fair for their big touchdown in Detroit. Terry Fair, the defensive back for the Detroit Lions. Smallish, about a 5'9"er.
Dawkins has kind of bounced around. 5 years with Indianapolis, 1 year with New Orleans, and he had the elation of signing with Seattle tempered a bit. His mom, battling cancer for 2 years, passed away this spring, so he's had to deal with that as well. 2nd down and 10. It's Waters behind a monster block by Walter Jones, picking up 2. Jones knocked out about 2 guys, but Colvin comes there, the rookie from Purdue, makes the stop. It just shows you the kind of pursuit the Bears, even great blocking, is not getting them open.
Well, and even that, Greg Blosch is the defensive coordinator. That time they anticipated the run, even though it was a spread formation. They were bump and run on the wide receivers, and they brought the extra defensive back up around the line of scrimmage. That's Greg Blosch on the sideline. You can't block everybody. If you want to, you can outnumber the offense because the quarterback always has the ball in his hand.
There's another Holmgren guy. Blosch was with Mike in Green Bay in the 90s. 3rd down and 8. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. So an ineffective Seattle offense today. Chicago is picked up where they left off last week. Mike Holmgren and the Hawks trail by 10. Shutting out the Seattle Seahawks. Coming up, NASDAQ halftime. Jim Nance and the crew, scores and highlights. And then a preview from Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms at Rocket Arrowhead Stadium between the Broncos and the Chiefs. 3rd down and 8, and 3rd and long has been very familiar for Seattle all afternoon. Short drop, quick throw, incomplete, and there goes a late flag. And another one. Dawkins was bumped. Tom Carter got in there and inadvertently whacked him, and that's going to be on the Chicago Bears.
Boy, Tom Carter's going to argue he was going for the ball, which he was. He got at least one hand on the ball. He just anticipated the throw. Those cornerbacks will read through the quarterback.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. Automatic. 1st down.
Sometimes you can actually anticipate. Now see how they're kind of leaning back right here. Feel them kind of leaning back. See how much lower the back part of their body is. They're setting up to pass. Now watch them as they sit straight up. All they're doing is kind of anticipating the tight play, and defensive linemen can sense run or pass.
1st and 10 from the Chicago 46. Here comes the rush, and down he goes. Robinson gets him again. His 2nd today, the 4th authored by the Chicago Bears, Brian Robertson. From Fresno State, Robinson with his 2nd.
Robinson's going to be coming right up the chute, right up the right side right here. Got pressure from the defensive back. That was Frankie Smith, so he tied up one blocker. They couldn't block Robinson and Smith.
2nd down, long screen pass to Waters on 2nd and 14. Doused on the play by Chris Hudson, number 47, who was a starter for Dick Duran the last 3 years with Jacksonville.
What a beautiful play by Hudson. He kind of made everything happen. Tony Parrish then moved over to strong safety this year. He's another big hitter. They got 2 strong hitters in the safety position.
3rd and 14 again. Foley with 3 wide receivers platoon. It's a block from Jones, but
It's coming from the upside. Now he's just going to keep coming. Quarterback is going to look to the left, and then when he turns around, it's too late. Watch Simmons. There's his turnaround. There's Simmons. I'll tell you what, Seattle is just getting outplayed. Their scheme is one thing, but they're just getting outplayed up front. I know Mike Holman's got to be frustrated.
Eagles to punt. Rush was on. Punt is high. I mean, he jacked it way up high. Milburn the catch at the 14. Breaks a tackle. There goes a flag. And all Milburn can do is carve out a gain of about 7 up to the 21-yard line. Flag thrown on the play. Tackle made by James Willis.
Now going back to that last series, it was in a 2-minute situation. Seattle was in a 2-minute passing situation. The pass rush was on, but they were coming with different looks, and they were getting there almost every time. If not sacking, they were getting pressure on the quarterback.
Penalty on the Bears on the punt return. Milburn has already had one for 54 yards today, but the Bears couldn't convert points into it.
The Bears will get conservative right here with 38 seconds. They have a 10-point lead. Nope, don't run the risk of
During the return, holding by the return team number 23. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's Jerry Azuma.
This is coaching right here now. Don't let, if you're a Chicago Bear coach, don't let the Seattle Seahawks back in the game by trying to do something big right now. Go ahead and take your 10-point lead into the halftime, even if you have to sit on the ball.
5 Chicago Bears sacks today. Coming into the season for Seattle, their strength was supposedly the continuity of their offensive line, but Ballard retired. Weiner was hurt last week. They got a new right tackle. Still 4/5 of the line is still there.
Well, and so is that defensive unit. They just have not played like a hungry football team.
And they're going to take your advice and go to a knee and run out the clock. And a very dejected Mike Holmgren and Seattle staff will trudge their way into the locker room. Not many times when he was coaching the Green Bay Packers was he down at halftime 10-0 to the Chicago Bears.
And the clock has stopped with 20 seconds left.
Now they've got it going at 16 seconds and rolling down, and this will be the final play as you see the play clock winding down.
Well, that gave everybody a little start. Mike Holmgren, of course, wanted to make sure everybody stayed on the field. Flags are flying.
It'll be half the distance to the goal line if it is a delay game against Chicago, which it would appear to be with the play clock running down as we saw.
This is a little bizarre right here because it looked like all they had to do was sit down on it one time. It was 38 seconds when they took the first snap a moment ago.
At the end of the last play, there were 30 seconds left on the clock. Therefore, there is no way that there could have been a delay of game foul. The half is over.
I think you just said that.
Yeah, that's the way we saw it too. Mike Holmgren, though, didn't see everybody leaving the field the way he should, and he got his hands up. Stay out there on the field. Don't leave. Let's don't have a trick play going on right here.
Curtis Enos with a touchdown run of 2 yards. 29-yard field goal by Goins. A couple of turnovers by Seattle. By the way, the official score for our game today at Soldier Field has now ruled that Jeff Fiegels did indeed fumble the ball. Initially, we were told that on downs it went over to Chicago at the 31, but now they have changed it in the last 5 minutes, and they have ruled it a fumble on the part of Seattle. The second one on the part of the Seahawks today. 10-0 Bears. We go to New York after this. Sauerbrunn picked up by reserve Kerry Joseph, a defensive back, and he is out near the 30-yard line, and that's where Seattle will begin at first down and 10.
Seattle, of course, you know, has a lot of injuries. Wide receiver, the holdout of Galloway, and Pritchard being injured, not quite ready to go, although he's dressed today. Then Charles Jordan last week being injured. So it cuts down on a lot of the things they would probably like to do offensively, but at the same time, you just have to play over those things. All teams go through it.
From the 30-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go for Foley. Starting for the injured John Kitna. Rush comes on. Robinson tagged him. The pass is dropped by Sean Dawkins. Flag is thrown downfield at the 47-yard line.
Very late throw, but this was a fundamental principle of look the ball in. When the ball arrives, you should be looking square at the football, not turning your head as if to make a run.
Against the Seahawks.
This is against Seattle.
Pass interference. Offense, number 81. 10 yards, first down.
And, of course, not only look the ball in, but don't shove the defender away before you make your break back to the inside. That time, actually, quarterback Glenn Foley had to scramble around. Part of the problem was his. You've got to get some depth after you have a play-action fake. You've got to get back so that you've got clearance from your line. Didn't happen on the last play.
Now with the penalty, pushed back to the 20-yard line. First down and 20. Foley again to the air. This time going deep down the sideline. Broken up beautifully by the safety, Tony Parrish. And an incomplete pass. Looking for his tight end.
Glenn Foley's going to underthrow this ball coming down the left side. And if you're a receiver, you want to run the defender off and then come back underneath, not reach back like that. What you're seeing, and I don't want to get on, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but Seattle in almost every part of the ball game look like they're not making full effort. That time the defender didn't box the guy out and then make that quick plunge or change of direction and come back underneath to make the catch. Just reached out for the ball.
Second down and 20. Looks like they're going to bring the house here. Foley knows he's going to change the play. Here they come. The blocking is there. The pass is wide and incomplete for X-Bear, number 19, Fabian Bones. He was waived by the Bears in training camp and quickly picked up by Seattle because basically of his great special teams play.
Well, we thought watching him in preseason that he'd make the team here because of his special teams play. Very difficult, though, on a slant, on a timing throw like that, a square out or a slant play, to be timed up with your new team, especially if your new team has a new quarterback in Glenn Foley in the ballgame. So that one's understandable there.
Mealy comes in, and Bones will trot to the sideline. 3rd and 20. It is the 4th time today Seattle has had, Sam, 3rd and 10 or more.
Well, that's not winning a football game.
Blocked by Jones, the pass away, and it's caught. Derek Mays shifting through traffic, weaving his way to the 45, and picks up a Seattle first down. A pickup of 27 on 3rd down and 20.
Well, I'll tell you, that's how you get back into a ball game, though. When you're only trailing by 10 points, 2 scores, and you're right back into the lead. Mays makes the turn to the inside and then goes straight up the field. I always told my guys, catch the ball, take the first few steps up the field, and then zigzag if you have to.
Ricky Waters tries to zigzag up, but not much there. Brought down by Barry Minner, a gain of perhaps 4. Setting up 2nd down and 6.
That may be what Seattle was looking for. Just something to go right. Something that looked like an executed play to give them their 2nd win. Because this is a good football team. It's not a team that ought to be coming in looking the way they look, frankly, last week against Detroit and so far against the Bears today.
Just about 3 yards of carry for Waters. 2nd down and 6. Blocked again by Jones. Buys the quarterback time. He throws it outside to the elusive Ricky Waters. He has a first down, wheeling his way to the Chicago 42 on a gain of 8.
Almost a clip downfield. Christian Fourier coming back to make the block, but no penalty flag thrown. Screen pass, a good call right there. When the pressure's getting up on the quarterback, counter with a draw or a screen, it slows down that pass rush a little bit. Watch the pressure coming from the right side right here. You want to let that stuff come at you and drop it over their heads.
See any adjustments offensively for Seattle?
Well, it's the same plays. They're just executing better.
Brown plunging for a couple down to the 40-yard line, picking up perhaps 2.5 on the play.
One thing Seattle shows you is a similar formation each time. They don't give you as many looks as Chicago. They will occasionally change up and go with that 3 wide receiver and give you a different look, but not on every snap.
And I guess for Chicago, no adjustments need to be made.
Well, you just stay with your call. That's absolutely right. Defensively, the only call you have to make is what's the strong side, what's the weak side. Very little tight end movement, so that problem's not there.
2nd and 8. Here comes the battering ram that is Ricky Waters, chugging his way to the 33 and close to a first down. So what appeared to be a defense of Chicago putting the offense of Seattle in a straitjacket, and Seattle has shown some life here to begin the 2nd half.
After our ball game, Denver and Kansas City, that's a rivalry that goes way back. Denver, of course, upset last week. Kansas City, we saw them play these Chicago Bears just a week ago. They're poised to be a better football team than they showed last week. That one's going to be a good football team because you've got 2 teams that are really hungry to try to win.
And it's raining in Kansas City as we speak. And a frustrated Mike Holmgren watches his young quarterback burn a timeout.
The NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Seattle's Seahawks on the move on the opening drive of the second half.
And the adjustments they look like they've made is that they have narrowed their game plan a little bit. Sometimes your best adjustments to take things away, not to add new stuff.
3rd and inches. There's a first down run by Ricky Waters, and there he goes. Inside the 20 and taking it to the 16, carving out 16 yards on the run. Hudson makes the tackle.
And give the ball to Ricky Waters. He wants it, as you can see after that play right there. Right here, 3rd down and short. The first time today they've been in a 3rd down and less than 8 situation. They get the ball to their main man, Ricky Waters. And after that nice run by Ricky Waters, he's up telling the coaches, give it to me again.
On the 17, sure enough, with the lead block by Brown. What a block by Brown, and inside the 10 rambles Ricky Waters. A gain on the play of about 9.5, close to a first down tackle made by Tony Parrish.
You know, this whole turnaround goes back to Derek May's catch, 3rd down and long. He makes the big run after the catch for the first down.
For 27 yards.
And you see the difference in the football team. Confidence, they're actually moving the Bears off the ball now, which was not happening in the first half.
It's 1st and goal. Best field position today by Seattle from the Chicago 7. Mays in motion, handoff to the fumbled the ball, and it's loose on the field. Chicago says they have it. The referee agrees. What a costly turnover for the Seattle Seahawks. Reggie Brown fumbled it away, the first back through.
Reggie Brown off the left side, short motion by Mays. He's going to bend back. Actually, he took his eyes. Really, you're not supposed to take your eyes on the ball at all. You're just going to receive the ball. It looked like he kind of reached for the football. And what you do when you reach for the ball, you close the area down. The quarterback has no room to put the ball in your gut.
Fell on CBS is sponsored by 1010-220. For great long-distance rates anywhere in America and around the world, dial 1010-220. And by Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Reggie Brown fumbles at the Chicago 8 on 1st and goal. Chicago takes over. Enos and Bennett in the backfield. Curtis Enos running up the middle. Lassoed immediately by Cortez Kennedy, losing a yard on the play.
In the first half, Chicago gave Seattle everything. Lots of different personnel looks, lots of different formations. Threw the ball quick. They didn't give him a chance to get to the quarterback. And they also did something else. They stayed away from Curtis Conway. A week ago, they threw the ball in the direction of Conway 12 times. In the first half, they didn't get the ball in his direction a single time. Look for that to change in the second half.
On the 7, 2nd down and 11. Matthews slings a pass which is caught by the tight end, John Allred. Flag is thrown at the 22. Allred shy of the first down, picking up perhaps 8 on the play. And the call is against the Seattle defense.
Going to be a face mask. The only question is how many yards, 5 or 10.
Personal foul on the defense, number 27. Unnecessary roughness, a blow to the head. 15 yards, automatic.
It was a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. That's the big one, 15 yards.
Last week, Williams picked off Charlie Batch for Mike Holmgren's defense and returned it 40 yards for a touchdown, but that was a costly penalty right there. Plus, it gives the Bears great breathing room.
Well, you know, a little bit of frustration, but also they wanted to toughen themselves up. I'm sure that was the lecture at halftime. They did stepped over the line with that one.
On the 30, 1st and 10. Here comes Enos on a pulling block by the tight end, Allred, and nothing there again. Maybe 2, but not a big chunk on the play. Kennedy again makes the tackle, 96. Next Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern, the Home Depot College football. Sean Alexander sparking Alabama against number 21 Arkansas, and it'll be West Virginia against Syracuse next Saturday, 3 o'clock on the Home Depot College football.
It'll be hard for college football to match what they showed us this past weekend with so many close games, come from behind games, last second wins.
Surprising to me, Wisconsin losing at Cincinnati, 2nd down and 8. Good block by Valeria. But Matthews is decked. 3rd sack today. This one authored by Sam Adams, his first of the year.
Now that's what Mike Holmgren wanted Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy to do. Get the penetration. Once you get there, now get under control, brace yourself, and close in on the quarterback to make the tackle. The quarterback wants to step up in the pocket. I made a point of that several times today. And the only way he can do it is if those interior linemen can cause that cushion there. Push the tackle, the defensive ends upfield by the tackles, hold the interior line. Now a three-man rush by the Seattle Seahawks.
3rd and 14. Oh, here comes Phillip Daniels, but the pass dumped off. Caught by Enos. Has to get to the 40, and he has the first down for Chicago to the 42. A wonderful display by Enos on 3rd and 14, picks up 16, picking and poking his way around the great blocking ahead.
Throw's going to come real quick to the left. Nobody blocking to the left side. They want the rush to come. Throw it over his head. Here's the nice strategy on that last play. On the play before that screen for the first down, there was a sack. Quarterback held the ball a little too long. On the very next play, a very quick release to make sure that would not happen again.
Brockemeyer and Kreutz leveling, crushing blocks on the run as Enos will take a breather, and Milburn has come in and the flag thrown.
5 yards, remain, first down.
Brockemeyer moving early. He's taken the place of Andy Heck, a former Seahawk and a long-time starter. Brockemeyer was at Carolina.
Big, strong guy. My guess is that they were going on a quick count, and he was trying to anticipate the quick count. Didn't happen right when he thought. He was already in motion.
5 receivers deployed. Milburn's in motion. 1st and 15. Little shovel pass thrown up to Curtis Conway. So much involved, Sam, as you accurately said earlier, in the offense a week ago with 9 catches. He only picks up 4 right there, and they haven't thrown to him.
Well, Conway is their bell cow, so to speak, and I'm sure that they realized, Chicago realized, that Seattle would be taking him away first. And that's fine. If you're a good team, you just let them take one guy away, but they can't take the others away. Chicago continues to get the ball to a lot of different receivers.
Enos back here, 2nd down and 12. Enos gets the call. Trying to go over the middle where there's not a lot of room and picks up maybe 3, which will set up 3rd and 9.
Chicago, though, continues to give them a lot of different looks. This half, totally different look, though, by the Seattle Seahawks. They look a little bit more into the ballgame, a lot more into the ballgame. Their defensive linemen are occupying the offensive linemen. That means that those linebackers can scrape off and make plays. Conway now up the field. This is Sean Springs. Look at him block. And look at him fight. You got blockers down the field. If they ever break the line of scrimmage, they can run a long way.
3rd and 9. Adams decks the quarterback, and the pass broken up beautifully downfield by Willie Williams, who was called for the foul earlier, 15-yard penalty. Adams just threw a drilling shot on the quarterback.
Watch right here. The ball actually hits the defender on the head. That's Willie Williams. He's obviously got his eyes on the defender. Sam Adams getting good pressure to Shane Matthews. He's learning this game real quick, Shane Matthews is.
Great punt by Sauerbrunn. No rush was put on. The rookie lets it bounce into the end zone. But it was close, as he's trying to put an angled kick somewhere inside the 10. A 57-yard punt by Sauerbrunn. That's using your head. After the top, Sauerbrunn punt, 1st and 10, pass across the middle, leaping catch made by fullback Reggie Brown, gain of 19 on the play. He's an athlete, a former high school quarterback in high school football in Detroit. And look at all the athlete right there with the catch.
Now watch right here, coming straight up the middle, but here's the safety. That's Tony Parrish. He sees the run. See him take one step forward just long enough to vacate the middle of the field, and the fullback actually slips into the middle. That's Reggie Brown.
He's the kid who fumbled on the Chicago 8 last series.
Reggie, of course, the tight end was the guy blocking, and that brought the safety up.
1st and 10 pass, wide, uncatchable for wide receiver Derek Mays. Coverage by Chris Hudson. 2nd down and 10 for Glenn Foley, taking the place of the injured John Kitna with turf toe.
And let's see how these two quarterbacks, Lynn Foley replacing Kitna, fared, or are faring today. Numbers aren't that much different, but the results are. On the last drive, Seattle expended a lot of energy. They moved the ball down the field, but didn't come up with any points. A lot more pressure on this drive to get some points of some kind.
2nd down and 10, a block by Jones, and not much room to roam for Ricky Waters. Perhaps 2 on the play. Barry Minner made the tackle. Brings down Ricky Waters, playing Now with his third team, began with San Francisco after graduating from Notre Dame, then went as a high-priced free agent to Philadelphia, then the same high price tag followed him to Seattle.
And they're left with another third down and long. Nickel defense in the game for Chicago. 3 wide receivers for the Seattle Seahawks.
3rd and 8 from the 41. Mays is in motion. Foley gets a block from Williams, throws a pass, dropped by the usually sure-handed Derek Mays. The one thing you cannot complain about are his hands. He has great hands. He's just been injured all the time, thus you can't count on him.
Well, he comes in motion left to right, then he turns to the inside and slides back to the outside, is wide open. And you're right, the one thing that everybody commented when he first came to camp from the Green Bay Packers was how sure he was in making catches. I used to call him suck 'em up hands. If it was anywhere near, he sucked up that ball and it was in his pocket right away.
Fiegels the punt. It'll be fair caught, or attempted to be fair caught by Milburn. There go the flags. It'll be on Seattle. You've got to give him room to catch it. And Fabian Bones, the ex-Chicago Bear, may have been rumbling down and caused the problem.
Well, if you're watching the man catching the ball, you try to guess where he's going to stop. Sometimes he can lead you right into the ball. Create that penalty. Lynn Milburn now, he's calling the fair catch. And remember, on a fair catch, you've got to wave your hand. But see Fabian Bones, he's coming up, anticipating Lynn Milburn to stop.
Interference for the opportunity to make a catch on the kicking team, number 26. 15 yards, automatic, first down, timeout.
Seahawks continue to struggle. Chicago shutting them out 10-0.
Yes is sponsored by McDonald's and by DirecTV. What are you looking at?
With Sam Wyche, Kevin Harlan. Interesting possession now, Sam, coming up for Chicago.
Well, if Chicago can score right here, it changes the entire mentality of the Seattle Seahawks. They would then be, assuming they score a touchdown, they'd be in a 3-score deficit. They'd have to get themselves up to the line of scrimmage. They've got to get bigger chunks. They've got to take more chances. So from the standpoint of both teams, this is a big series in the game because it changes the style of play for the rest of the game.
Chicago 42, 1st and 10. Matthews right to work. Great time in the pocket. Throws a pass which is incomplete, zeroing in on his tight end Alonzo Mays. 2nd down and 10. Log on to the NFL and vote in the continuing series of the best NFL photos of the century. This week the theme is leaps. Only at www.nfl.com.
You're on the computer a lot, aren't you, Kevin?
Have to be. You know, the CBS Sports Line position on the computer is just great for NFL followers.
I used to do most of my studying early in the week, right there.
2nd and 10 for Shea Matthews. Hand off to Enos, hitching his way up to the 45. Picking up 3. Tackle made by James Logan, setting up 3rd down and 7. Matthews got the job when just before training camp the Bears surprisingly let go of Eric Kramer, the starting quarterback from a year ago.
Well, you know, there was a lot of discussion about that. Should they have kept him to be the mentor, so to speak, the old veteran that could bring along the young player, Cade McNown, who has really not played as much as we thought he might play today, but in a tight ball game, he got his early look and probably won't see him again. But when the trade took place, they put all their eggs in the basket of Matthews.
Here comes Enos, has to get to the 48, spinning. He's got the first down. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 7 for Curtis Enos, who continues to play well. He tore an ACL last year in Game 9, came back a new man with a new knee this year, and look at the result.
And Thelma Enos back in Union City, Ohio, has got to be proud of her son, watching him run, carry the ball the way he is, and recovering from the ACL that he had a year ago. Also had a shoulder injury in training camp. Missed part of camp that way. But boy, does he look fresh and does he look good.
A lot of yes sirs and no sirs. And you talked to him yesterday. Real polite young guy and changing the way he was perceived as kind of a brash rookie a season ago. On 1st and 10, the shotgun snap is blown dead with 3.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Generally indicates movement by the offense.
Before the snap, false start on the offense, number 78. 5 yards, first down.
That's a second on Brockemeyer and the 8th penalty on Chicago today.
Right here. Here's Brockemeyer. Now all he's doing is anticipating the snap count. Now remember, there's no quarterback behind the center you see right there. He's in the shotgun. When the quarterback is not right there, he can't hear him quite as well. He anticipates the snap. And when you anticipate, sometimes you do not anticipate right.
Enos is out. 1st and 15. 4 receivers. Quick slant, bad pass by Matthews. Really one of the first poor passes we've seen. He was looking for Glenn Milburn on the slant quickly inside.
This is one of the plays that Coach Holmgren thought maybe they were getting downfield a little early on, but that doesn't matter if the ball's underthrown. Shane Matthews there showing that he's the guy that messed that one up.
Matthews, he says he still talks at least once a week with Steve Spurrier, his coach at Florida.
And I'm sure they'll be having a lot to talk about after the big win by Florida over Tennessee yesterday.
Number 4 Gators over number 2 Tennessee, a game you saw last night on CBS. 2nd down and 15. Good block by James. Big Cat Williams. That ball batted down and almost picked off by Cortez Kennedy. And just the sight of him intercepting a pass and rumbling downfield would have been worth the price of admission.
He's going to come right to the outside right here. He's going to see the pass starting to be thrown. Watch him reach up. His hands are all bundled up. There's no way he's reaching out and catching that football. Lots of padding because he's got a lot of tight fighting with his hands and arms. There's that big paw going up, though, knocking the ball away. Again, though, the quick throws by the Chicago Bears taking away the chance of the sack.
Slim down Kennedy. The lightest he's been in 4 years. 3rd and 15 from the gun. Enos out of the backfield. Matthews downfield. What a catch made by Ingram for the first down. Bobby Ingram, who holds every significant receiving record for Joe Paterno at Penn State. The leading receiver a year ago was 64. His first catch today, a gain of 21 on 3rd and 15.
Beautifully thrown. And this is a ball that has to be dropped in the hole right there. You can't throw this ball on line. Neither can you throw a mortar shot up there. You can't leave it in the air too long. Willie Williams at 5'9", though. That wasn't a matter of height. You know, it wasn't a problem that way. The ball was just thrown on time before Williams could react.
Down to the 31 of Seattle, 1st and 10. Empty backfield. Enos on the move. Quick throw outside. Enos the blocker for Conway. Out of bounds at about the 20. A nice quick pickup of 6. That kid, when he catches the ball, will fly. And you like his speed. Over the offseason, he trained with the Olympic sprinter Quincy Watts in Los Angeles. He's leaner and he says quicker.
There he is now. You're going to see in the slot right now. The motion is going to be a blocker. Here's going to be the guy catching the ball. That's Conway. The blocker's out in front, really looking a little bit too far back into the backfield, then turning straight up the sideline. If you outflank everybody, that could turn into a big play.
8th play of the drive. 2nd down, 4th. Quick pass. Almost picked off and incomplete. Running up and just about grabbing it. The former number 1 pick with the New England Patriots, Chris Canty, who was cut by the Bears this past summer.
Well, he'd like to make that play in front of this crowd right here. But on the left side of your screen, you're going to see him coming straight up the field now. A little bit too much to the same pattern right here. That time the quarterback really didn't even take a 2-step drop. He just took a 1-step retreat, tried to get the ball off quick. Chris Canty anticipated the throw.
They've been watching some tape of last week.
Well, they also, Chris Canty saw it a lot in training camp. Remember, they practiced that too.
Good point. 3rd and 4. 5 wide receivers. From the 25. Sidearm pass bobbled and dropped by Enos in what would have been a first down and then more.
An easy first down. Again, back to the fundamentals of football. Look the ball in and then tuck it away and then run in that order. Curtis Enos just looked away, and you're right, it would have been an easy first down. And then if he makes one man miss, maybe he breaks it for the distance.
Couple drops by the Bears today. That one by Enos. He dropped one last week, actually, against Kansas City wide open. Here's a 43-yard try by Goins.
That was a big play because 7 points makes a big difference. 3 points makes it a 2-touchdown difference in the ballgame.
Here's Sam Wyche, Kevin Harlan. Great to have you with us. Chicago beating Kansas City last week, holding on, winning by 3. And if the Bears win today, it'll be their first 2-0 start since 1991. But there's a lot of football to be played.
They looked good. They looked good last week. They looked solid again this week.
And the kickoff by Sauerbund after the Bears' 43-yard field goal. This is into the end zone as Rodgers, the rookie, goes to a knee. Amon Green is out with a concussion, will not return.
Now these are just my most. Remember, this is just my opinion. Indianapolis most improved in the AFC. Washington in the NFC. Exciting rookie, Edgerrin James. Watch this guy for the Indianapolis Colts. Most enthusiastic fans. There are a lot of them, but Cleveland has to be the front runner right now. Most underrated team, the Tennessee Titans, and the most overrated Arizona, even though they're playing good football right now. They were, of course, going to be everything this year.
And you and I had picked Seattle to make the playoff, but they have looked horrible now for a game and a half.
They might be the most disappointing team this far of the season.
On the 21st and 10 for Glenn Foley, taking the place of the injured John Kitna. A little play action, good fake, and a long throw. Looking for Mays on the deflection. What a catch at the 50! 31-yard reception. Blanket coverage by the Bears and Tom Carter. Those are the hands we're talking about. He dropped one the last series. He made serious amends right there.
Now he's going to come up and then break back to the inside right here. The ball is slightly underthrown. And in doing so, Tom Carter has a chance at it. But watch the ball. It's going to hang in the air. There it is. Keeping his concentration, Derek Mays makes the play. Came over from the Green Bay Packers.
Busted play for Foley. Wisely slides feet first and loses perhaps a half yard in the play down at the 50. A guy who was starting last year for the Jets out of training camp, then supplanted by Vinny Testaverde. Oakland is on top of Minnesota by 6. And look at Green Bay continuing to struggle as they did under Holmgren up in Detroit.
Well, Detroit with a big win last week over the Seattle Seahawks. Indianapolis, my surprise team, or my most improved team. Arizona and Miami battling it out. That's top football game. And look at Carolina against the mighty Jacksonville Jaguars.
Second down and 10. Waters in motion out of the backfield inside the 50-yard line. Blocking again. Jones, a good one. The pass across the middle. Caught by Sean Dawkins. 6'4", some pretty good speed. He played at Cal, was the #1 pick by the Colts, and catches his first of the day after grabbing 7 last week and picks up 7 on that play right there.
Well, listen, the Seattle Seahawks have been dominating this game, but they're only 2 scores away from winning this ball game. And Derek Mays has made the 2 big plays in this ball game, as far as I'm concerned. 2 big catches that gave him a chance to get back in. Mike Holmgren trying to cover every base in a situation like this as the third quarter comes to an end.
The fourth quarter is coming up through 3. It's been Curtis Enos, a touchdown run earlier in the game. Part of the 13-0 barrage leveled on by Seattle. We begin the fourth quarter with Chicago shutting out Seattle 13-0. It's 3rd down and 3. First play of the fourth quarter upcoming from the Chicago 42. And off to Waters has the first down and more as he swivels his way for the first down. Or so it would appear. Let's see where the spot is. And he did not get the best spot.
No, he didn't. I would think, though, that Seattle would go for it on 4th down 13-0 as we enter the fourth quarter. I know Ricky Waters is going to want to go for it. He'll be over there punching himself in the chest. Give me the ball. 6 men around the line of scrimmage that time for the Chicago Bears, trying to cover all the gaps, and then they pulled out and went man-for-man coverage. But this one, as you said, goes right down to the spot. It looked like he fell beyond the first down, but the spot brought it back a little bit.
They got it by the length of a football. There's a lot of heart and soul with Ricky Waters. I mean, he has always been viewed as an emotional player. Some have labeled him selfish, but there is no doubt that he has been a success wherever he's gone.
Well, you know, coaches that deal with him find him a little bit hard to deal with at times because he wants the ball. He wants things happening there, but he's carried it 16 times for 72 yards. And when you're making things happen, get him the ball again.
First down for Glenn Foley, a former 7th-round selection by the New York Jets. Inside the Chicago 40, a lead block by Brown, and there goes the run by Waters as he tries to cut the corner, and he's close to the 35. Sean Harris, Tony Parrish there with the tackle, and a gain of 3. Monday on CBS, take a regular guy whose life is filled with women. Let the games begin. Alfred Molina stars as Sharon Lawrence in the series premiere of Ladies' Men, right after the King of Queens, Monday nights, right here on CBS.
I can't relate to that, but I'm going to watch it to find out.
Second down and 7. Gain of 1 for Waters. Setting up third down and a long 5. We'll call it 6. And this will be a very important play call now by Mike Holmgren.
Well, it will. The Chicago Bears defensively substitute on down and distance situation. Third down and long, they immediately put their nickel situation in the ballgame. Seattle, on the other hand, did not substitute with the extra wide receivers. Late, they came in with another tight end. So now they come in with the extra tight end and 2 wide receivers.
Third down and 6, rolling out of the pocket. Flanagan. There's a pass caught by Mays. The lunge may have gotten him the first down. But let's see where the spot is. Well, if it's an indication right there, it looks like he has it.
It looks like it from that sideline. The point I was making earlier there, though, was that Chicago is making substitutions. They do get the first down on down and distance situation rather than matching up personnel. Now, here's the very end. Watch the reach of the ball. That's heads up. That's the kind of football play you like to see your team do. And according to the official, he was out of bounds while he still had possession, even though that ball still laid inbounds.
Schooner in the distance on Lake Michigan. It's a beautiful day here.
Is that mini-masted or multi-masted? What would you say that is?
Schooner.
Yeah, it's a lot of masts.
First down and 10. Play action. Going deep. Looking for Dawkins. Almost had it incomplete. Going jousting against Tom Carter. The greatest asset for Dawkins is 6'4" size.
Well, he went up, as mentioned earlier, against Terry Fair of Detroit a week ago and just out-jumped the defender. The Chicago Bears, though, have good size in their defensive cornerback position. This time the ball is pretty well thrown, goes up with one hand, can't get that right hand up with it. I used to tell my receivers, never reach up with one hand. Take both hands up, catch the ball with your fingertips, and then pull it in tight.
They've thrown to Dawkins 5 times today, and you can see just the one catch. 9th play of the Seattle drive coming up now on the Chicago 29, second down and 10.
Didn't get it off in time.
Holmgren is livid on the sideline.
Well, Glenn Foley is livid on the field, yelling at the sideline, get me the play in.
Offense, 5 yards, second down.
These are not the way his Green Bay teams played.
No, part of it is the changeover. There shouldn't really be this much because he's bringing in an experienced staff that's been with him before and a football team that was pretty good coming in. 6 penalties today for the Seattle Seahawks. And that one will be discussed after the ball game because Glenn Foley was as mad at the sideline as Mike Holmgren was as mad at the penalty.
Now second down and 15 from the 34 of Chicago. Foley with the block from Williams, throwing the pass, caught by Mays. The defender fell, and in for the touchdown, Derek Mays. A 34-yard touchdown reception, his first as a Seahawk. Chris Hudson was defending, and he fell. That opened up the gate, and Foley has his first touchdown pass as a Seahawk quarterback.
Well, it was a zone defense. And Mays it's a seam pattern, what I call a seam pattern. Everybody runs straight up the field and finds that seam in between the zones. The quarterback throws it over the head of the linebackers, or in this case, Chris Hudson, who had the short zone.
Todd Peterson will try the extra point. Snap from Chris Gray. And the hold by the punter, Jeff Beagles, is good. Touchdown pass to Mays, a new game in Chicago. Pass Foley to Mays. Seattle back in business with Sam Wyche, Kevin Harlan. We saw the same act last week for Chicago against Kansas City.
Well, it's not getting conservative. It's just that the other team's getting back in the ballgame. Chicago has dominated this game like they did last week against Kansas City. 1 touchdown, though, and the Seattle Seahawks are right back in it. They're only 6 points down, and they've been dominated the entire ballgame.
All right, here's the ensuing kickoff by Seattle. And caught on the run by Glenn Milburn. And he busts free, and Milburn is on the run past the 40 and up to the 41-yard line, tackled by James Logan. A 30-yard return. Every time he touches the ball, you got to hold your breath.
Well, I tell you, they have exciting players at different spots on the field. Glenn Milburn being the special teams guy. Here he is right here. And when he goes up the field, he goes straight up the field. See him? He doesn't mess around. He doesn't do a lot of that choppy step in the hole. He's gaining yards up the field. And if he makes one guy miss, he can outrun the rest of the field if they don't have the right angle on him.
on the 41-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. Enos is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Darren Smith, Logan coming through. Logan, the guy taking the place of Chad Brown today. The Oakland Raiders on top of the Minnesota Vikings, and Detroit leading Green Bay. Detroit may be 2-0, and Chicago looking at a possible 2-0 start for them in the rugged NFC Central.
And the two teams that maybe you would have thought would not have been in the first half of that division after the first half of the season. It's still early, but both teams playing well early.
Second down and 13. A good block by Enos. Buying time. Catch by Conway to the 46-yard line of Seattle. A pickup of 16. And for Conway today, that is his third catch of the afternoon.
Here he is. He's going to go right up the chute now. He's going to, or excuse me, he was the inside guy coming out of the backfield, or the second man in the slot position right there. Seattle came with a blitz. They left them one short underneath. They have to get to the quarterback quick. Again, Chicago gets the ball off before they can get there. Nice reception by Conway.
First and 10, blitz is out. Here comes Canny, who knocks it away for a second time today. Chris Canny flying in off the wing, a guy the Bears cut in preseason, picked up by Seattle. And for the second time today, he bats down a Matthews pass.
Here he comes from this side. Now what they're doing is the Seattle Seahawks are bringing the extra guy away from wherever the running back lines up in the backfield. If there's no running back, they have a plain shot. If the running back lines up to the right, they blitz from the left. That gives the Seattle Seahawks the one-man advantage. Chicago's tried to counter it with the quick throws.
Burton Hanks playing virtually every play now. Second down and 10 for Chicago from the 46. Handoff to Enos. Hit by Smith and grabbed around the ankles and brought down there. Also, Riddick Parker was on him. Gain of 3, which will set up third down and 6 in what appears to be one of the most important plays of the game for young Shane Matthews.
Well, I tell you what, Chicago is playing now nice, steady football, but they don't look the same inspired football that we saw in the first half. On the other hand, Seattle looks more inspired. Although I don't give them, they're not pursuing and flying around all over the field, but they're doing their job better at the hole.
Bears have to get to the 36 on the 42. A pass dropped by Marcus Robinson. Robinson had a nice game last week against Kansas City. Third Chicago drop today. It cost him a first down, and hopefully, if you're a Chicago fan, that's all it'll cost him. Tonight on 60 Minutes, if you think today's public schools can educate children the way they did when you and I went to school, watch the premiere of another season of 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
Everybody studied like you did going through school. There'll be no problems.
I agree with you there. There's solid run with the punt. Fair caught by the rookie at the 15, Charlie Rogers. 27-yard punt. Now Chicago's defense will have to carry them over a rejuvenated Seattle team.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. Are you ready for e-business? Blue from American Express. And by cold, refreshing Zima. Zima, a few degrees cooler.
Well, the Bears are sailing along until the touchdown pass at 34 yards in the last possession by Seattle. Worst beginning field position here for the Seahawks. Fully under center from the 15. Play action. Good block by the tight end Mealy, and a pass outside incomplete for Derek Mays, covered by Tom Carter.
And good coverage by Tom Carter. Tight man-to-man coverage. Change of direction is the key factor in a defensive back. Obviously, you've got to be fast and you've got to have quicks. But change of direction. You are not timed on your 40-yard dash and gear down. You're timed on how fast you can run, stop, change direction, and accelerate again. Tom Carter's been doing it for a long time.
Numbers look a little different from the first half to the second, don't they?
The Seahawks have clawed their way back in it, to their credit.
Second down and 10 from the 15. Waters outside, hurdling a defender, staying on his feet, wheeling his way near the 24, and a gain of 9.
And look at Ricky Waters. He's letting his own sideline have it. Get me the ball is what he's saying. He's going to come off the right side. Just solid blocking right here. This is no pulling guards. Man on man. Ricky Waters makes the first man miss, second man miss, third man miss, fourth man miss. Picks up all the extra yardage on his own.
55 of his game 85 in this half. It's third down and 1 from the 25. Foley got a great block from Williams. The right tackle throws a first down pass to Mays, who's up to the Seattle 39. Tackle made by Barry Minner. Mays has been big in the second half. That's a gain of 13 yards on 3rd and 1.
As you mentioned, the offensive line made that happen because that was a slow developing play. Minner had to run all the way across the field. The coverage wasn't that bad. The throw was nice because the protection was there.
Any noticeable things you see on the Chicago defense?
They haven't changed a lot. They haven't been showing one thing and then coming out of it as much. They've been lining up with what they finished doing more than they did in the first half.
Ball started on the offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Brian Williams taking the place of starter Todd Wyche.
That's not unusual for a defense to not continue faking things all the way through the game. You can only do that a little bit during the first part of the ball game. Then the offense finds out what your game plan is, and no sense trying to disguise it all the way through the ball game. So really the Chicago Bears are playing and doing what they did in the first half, which gave them a 10-0 lead. They just haven't quite been able to execute as well as Seattle has in the second half.
First down 15 with the penalty back at the 32 as Foley throws a pass, caught, but for a loss on the play. Catch by Fabian Bones. And all over him, Walt Harris, the ex-Bear. Bones.
You know, you don't go into Kansas City and play a normal football game if you're an AFC West opponent, especially the Denver Broncos. All the great football games that had so much meaning, and this early in the year, this one has a tremendous amount riding on it because of the results of last week for both teams.
Denver losing to Miami at home. Kansas City losing here. 2nd down and 10 from the 37. Fake handoff to Waters. They set up the screen. He's got a lead block in Kendall. Ricky Waters down the sideline. Brian Habib threw a great block, a 24-yard gain. Tony Parrish made the tackle.
And there's Ricky Waters again going to his sideline. I can remember when he was in Philadelphia, John Gruden was the offensive coordinator. He used to just pull his hair out because he was trying to get the ball to him and never could do it enough to satisfy Ricky Waters. And this is why. This guy does make things happen. He is really a superior running back in the National Football League.
3 catches for Waters, 34 yards. 1st and 10. Here comes the rush. There goes the pass by Foley and dropped by Derek Mays, and a flag is down at the 45. Mays has had a career day. 6 catches, 132 yards. Another penalty on Seattle.
This will be holding. It'll cost him 10 yards, even though they had the incompletion. I would assume Chicago will accept it.
Illegal block in the back on the offense, number 86. 10 yards, first down.
Illegal block in the back, shove in the back, holding. All of them carry with it the same penalty, 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. You see this from the left side of your screen, right? There's the shove. Oh, I don't know about that one. I'll tell you what, that's blocking. The rule is that you've got to be within the framework of the body of your on-rushing defensive player. And then, of course, if you slide on around and you come off of him quick, they won't call it. I guess the officials felt like he stayed with it too long.
Back to the 49, 1st down and 20. Short drop by Foley. The puck wide open is the receiver. And Fabian Bones has the touchdown. And Seattle has tied the game.
Fabian Bones going to make a little bit of a move to the inside and then go up the field. Walt Harris jumps on the inside right there. Harris jumps on the inside move and way out of position at that point. Nobody over the top to help him. He's one-on-one out there. And I'll guarantee you, Fabian Bones, who was in training camp with these Chicago Bears, couldn't be a happier player.
Todd Peterson for the lead. And Seattle has come back with 13, make it 14 unanswered points. Another long touchdown pass by Foley to the ex-Bear Fabian Bones. Seattle on top by one for the first time. Fabian Bones, as Sam said, in camp, let go after a couple years with the Bears. Caught a touchdown pass last year. Here's the onside kick, or a squib kick, which is picked up by reserve center Casey Wegman. And he gets it at the 27.
Here's what's going to happen. He's going to be beaten. He's coming up. He won't get to the outside. Watch the inside move and then straight up by Fabian Bones. Fabian Bones up the field, back to the inside. The jump by Walt Harris, and Chris Hudson can't get over the top fast enough. Down the sideline for the touchdown.
Harris was torched last week by Kansas City's Derek Alexander on an 86-yard touchdown pass. And Bones burned him right there.
That happened in the second half, just like it did here.
Now let's see what the Bears are all about. The first time they have trailed all season. On the 27, 1st and 10 outside quickly to Enos. Logan had a beat on him, and outside he goes to about the 35, picking up 7. As you see, the Vikings coming back a little bit now as they start the 4th quarter up at the Dome. Green Bay coming back against Detroit. We've got a close one here with Seattle on top by 1.
That little play that Chicago just ran is really a running play. They throw the ball backwards. That allows people to go downfield and block before the pass is thrown. It's really a lateral.
Bobby Ingram has just hobbled off the field. 2nd down and 2. Enos again. Huge hole in a 1st down. That line has been, that defensive line has been pretty porous all afternoon for Seattle, and once again, Enos exploits it.
All right, here are the two guys that have to do it. They've got to get up the field and then get under control. But see them get up the field and they're locked on. They're not getting rid of their blocker. Therefore, they can't see what's happening in front of them, and they're getting right to the linebackers. They got to make them run around a little bit so the linebackers can make the tackles.
The Bear 43, 1st and 10. Here's a pass, incomplete outside. Pressure was on Philip Daniels and Michael Sinclair were draped on quarterback Shane Matthews. There is a new left tackle for the Bears, a rookie, Jerry Wisney out of Notre Dame.
And that's where the breakdown happens, coming back from the left side right there. Actually, he's getting help a little bit at that time from Curtis Enos, who was doing what's called a chip block. Just a little bit of a bump to help the tackle out. Wasn't enough on that play.
Wisney was a 6th-round pick. Brockermeyer is out. We have no word from the sidelines. 2nd down and 10 on the 43. Oh, looks like Big Cat Williams may have moved a little bit early, the right tackle.
Chicago had him
Before the
fooled.
snap, false start on the offense, number 71, 5 yards, 2nd down.
4-year starter Williams, who began on defense and at one time backed up on the defensive line, Refrigerator Perry.
Well, just anticipating the snap, what was happening was a lot of conversation going on the defensive side of the ball. Anthony Simmons, they were trying to get him over to cover up one of the extra wide receivers. All that conversation distracted Big Cat.
2nd down, 15 with the penalty in tow, back at the 38. To Enos with the block up ahead from Todd Perry, the left guard. It only produces 5 yards. And the tackle made by Cortez Kennedy.
Boy, they had a good call on, though. Seattle came with a blitz. Merton Hanks blitz from the backside, from the offensive right side. A quick screen to the left. If it gets through that first line, they've got to play. Seattle played it too well, though. Everybody did their job, and you have to when you're blitzing because you can't afford. There's nobody to back anybody up when you're blitzing.
3rd down and about 11. Shotgun snap. There's the pass by Matthews. Almost picked off by Chris Cannon, who has had a tremendous game, detonating so well right there for the Seahawks. The 3rd batted down pass that he has had against Matthews today.
And here's Conway going to try to go up the middle now. Or here it is coming right there. He's going to go up the middle. Chris Canny, who was in camp again with these Bears. Fabian Bones and Chris Canny both here during training camp. Canny comes across underneath, trying to get the ball to Curtis Conway, just a little bit underthrown.
Just crossing the 6-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Great punt by Sauerbrunn. The rookie Rodgers lets it sail over his head and ricochets into the end zone. 58-yard punt on the heels of a 57-yard punt moments ago by Sauerbrunn. It's Seattle on top for the first time by 1.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market and by Burger King.
after the solid run, punt of 58 yards into the end zone. Touchback to the 20, 1st and 10. Foley off the long touchdown pass to Bones. Hands off to Ricky Waters. He tries to cut the side and slashes his way to the 24 with a gain of 4.
And you saw one of the strategies that Mike Holmgren has told his team. Don't go out of bounds if you don't have to. That stops the clock. Hold on to the football. They're going to try to strip it away from you. Quarterback use as much of the 40-second clock as you can between plays. Dick Duran, on the other hand, the other side of the ball, is saying try to force these guys out of bounds. Everybody try to go for the ball. Second man in, try to strip the ball loose, get us one more possession, and save the timeouts if you can.
2nd down, 7 from the 24. Here comes the rush by Tuanay, and down goes the quarterback Foley. Mike Wells and Van Tuanay thrown for a 2-yard loss.
Tuanay's coming up the outside now. This time the Seattle Seahawks are going to make a token fake. Still in the pocket, slightly rolls to his right. As you see coming up the outside, Tuanay was the unblocked guy coming hard from the outside. He's the one guy they didn't account for, and he makes the play.
That is the 6th sack today in 2 games. Seattle's offensive line has given up 12 sacks. It's 3rd down. 9 to go. Foley, pocket crumbling. Down he goes at the 18.
And flags everywhere at the snap of the ball. I'm guessing somebody has 12 men on the field. The tempo is so fast by both offenses, getting players on and off the field, and the matchups on both sides of the ball. But flags were thrown immediately at the snap.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men on the field. 5 yards. Repeat, 3rd down.
What a killer for Chicago and Dick Duran.
But we said earlier, they substitute by situation. They don't wait to see who's coming in on the field for Seattle. If it's 3rd and long, they send their nickel personnel in the game. Apparently somebody didn't come off. I always used to like to ask the official, okay, tell me, which one was the 12th guy? Just think about it for a minute.
Yeah. I bet you rarely got an answer.
Yeah, we didn't. And rarely did we get a laugh. It just didn't happen.
3rd down and 4 from the Seattle 26.
Showing blitz.
Foley will burn his 2nd timeout. Seattle has 1 left. Wisely taken. He saw the blitz. He saw.
There's a timeout on the field.
Timeout by Seattle. Glenn Foley talking things over with Mike Holmgren. 14-13. Seattle leads 2 long second-half touchdown passes by Foley. Holmgren has 1 timeout now left in his pocket. He has a 3rd and 4 from his own 26. What would you call here?
Yep. High possession pass, or I would keep the ball on the ground. Just keep the clock running and try to go with your best running play. With 1 back in the backfield, this is either going to be a draw kind of a play or a quick throw.
They show the blitz again. Empty backfield with Waters on the move. Foley getting great blocking. Downfield as the receiver caught by Pritchard. A 1st down, a huge catch. To the Seattle 46, his 1st catch today for 21 yards.
Or I would get the quarterback out of the pocket if I was calling that play. And that's what they do. They empty the backfield, spread everybody out, and they look at the concentration, keeping both feet in bounds down the sideline. He's just going to come up now and break to the outside. He's just going to stop, throw the ball where nobody else can get it, and let the receiver do his job.
And look who's there, number 27, Walt Harris, covering again, or not covering again.
They're working on it.
On the 47, 1st and 10. Ricky Waters getting a block from his tight end and from Derek Mays, his wide receiver, and picks up 5. So Seattle staying in bounds. Clock continues to go. Chicago with 3 timeouts. The Seahawks with 1.
What a smart football player. I tell you, he could have easily just taken that ball on out of bounds, but he fought to stay in bounds. It wasn't like he took a dive in bounds. He actually had to fight because Chicago was trying to push him out of bounds. That guy's got his head in the game.
14 unanswered points by Seattle in the second half. A 34-yard touchdown pass to Mays. 49-yard touchdown pass to Bones, the ex-Bear. Second down, a long 4 from the 47. Foley had a block on 2-and-A that opens up room, and Parrish grabs on to Mays. Looks like he picked up the first down, and most importantly for Seattle, on the gain of 5, did not go out of bounds.
Well, Chicago's boxing everybody inside right here. He's just going to go right quick to the outside. The important thing here is what you just said. Turn up the field. Don't let them take you out of bounds. Keep the clock running. They're moving the quarterback out of the pocket, not giving the defensive lineman a landmark to rush to, and they're keeping this clock going. It's going to work its way under 3 minutes after this play.
Career day for Derek Mays in terms of yards and catches. First and 10 from the Chicago 42, and the handoff goes to Waters. A lead block by Brown. And he's tackled by middle linebacker Sean Harris after a gain of 2. Thursday on CBS. Wait till you see what the creator of Alan McBeal and the practice has done to Chicago Hope. Don't miss the season premiere on a brand new night, Thursday on CBS, America's most watched network. Does Chicago have any hope right now?
Oh, they've got hope because they've got timeouts. Chicago just took their first one. That leaves them with 2 more timeouts.
In your mind, where did this game turn in the second half for Seattle?
Derek Mays. I think he made those 2 big catches. They obviously came out in the second half with a renewed mindset. I won't say that they came out flying around and outplaying Chicago noticeably, but they were playing so much better. Seattle was playing so much better than they did in the first half that they got themselves back in the ball. This is a good football team. They just have to play to it.
What about Mays? His reaction when he found out that Green Bay had traded him to Seattle and Mike Holmgren wanted, called Mike, are you sure you want this? Because he wasn't a star in the Holmgren offense in Green Bay.
No, and Mike Holmgren told us honestly he didn't think he'd ever, they told the coaching staff about it, and they said, what, are you sure? But this guy does have good hands. He's grown up a great deal in football, obviously.
Second down, 8 from the 40-yard line. Waters again gets the call, and he dances his way to the 37. And picks up on the play, perhaps 3. Tackle made by Barry Minner.
Chicago, another quick timeout.
Timeout taken. Chicago has 1 left, as does Seattle.
Chicago has 1 timeout left. If they hold them right here and the clock is running, they'll probably go ahead and take it. They'll have, of course, the 2-minute warning will stop the clock. Seattle, on the other hand, of course, is going to do everything they can to keep the clock going and hold on to the football. In the pass, they got the quarterback out of the pocket.
Third down and 5 from the 37. They got to get to the 32. Mays is in motion. Outside it goes. Incomplete pass. Zeroing in on fullback Reggie Brown. So now it is 4th down and 5. Do you go for it or do you punt? Holmgren's already made that decision. He's going to kick it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You punt, you try to back him up, make him go the longest distance. Remember, a field goal still wins this ball game for the Chicago Bears, so you don't want to give them field position if you don't make it on 4th down. That was the right call. Well executed, it would have made the first down.
Foley had hit 6 consecutive passes up until that miss. As you take a look coming into today to the #1 punter in the NFL, Jeff Fiegels. There is Glenn Milburn stationed back at the 10. He has had a dynamite afternoon. Off the side of his foot and out of bounds near the 25. It could have been a lot worse for Chicago.
Well, Chicago showed the all-out rush and did not come with it. Jeff Fiegels tried to rush him, and it went off the side of his foot. Didn't turn out to be a disaster, though, because he was punting really from midfield. Just jumps right off the side of his foot. That's the equivalent to a shank if you've got a little 9-iron into the green.
By the way, that is Clyde Simmons is going to kind of jostle with him. They were teammates years ago. Both played at Philadelphia and Arizona.
Yeah, that's not bad sportsmanship. That was just 2 friends back together.
Exactly. Brockemeyer, the left tackle, is out, so the rookie Wisney is in. On the 25, 1st and 10 for Shane Matthews. Sets up, throws, incomplete. Matthews was hit hard. He was zeroing in on Conway, 2nd down and 10.
And Conway was open against Sean Springs. When you throw the ball out there, you never throw the ball beyond just the shoulder. You just let him, you throw the ball, he's going to pivot and slide, but throw to his shoulder. Don't throw way outside, which he did. He's not going to be able to slide out to get it. He can slide a little bit and make that catch. He was wide enough open. Remember, they're only trying to get into position for Brian Gallons to make the field goal attempt to win the ball game.
On the 25, second down and 10. Here comes Enos, and he flies ahead to the 31. That'll be third down and about 4. They got to get to the 35. Clock ticking. 2-minute warning is on the horizon. Chicago with 1 timeout. Seattle with 1 timeout.
Probably going to have to go 4 downs to get right here since they only have 1 timeout.
Third down pass batted down by Sam Adams. And Matthews has suffered from a lot of batted down passes today. 3 alone at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that time Sam Adams, though, is not rushing the passer. Watch what happens right here when the ball is snapped. He's going to stop. Right now, he's quit rushing. He's just watching the passer and then times his jump and bats him down. Many times in the pass rush, the defensive linemen are taught to do it that way. Get a little pressure, and then you become an obstacle to the throw.
Hold on.
It's 4th down and 4 from the 34 Chicago. Matthews, good time from the line. The pass across the middle is caught for a first down by Bobby Ingram. He's to the 36, 209, 208, clock ticking down, a gain of 5 on 3rd and make it 4th and 4.
Let's see the spot. This one's going to be close. They give it to him. Seattle would like to see the measurement on this one. Ball thrown right across the middle of Bobby Ingram. Just enough for the first down.
We're at the 2-minute warning. Eyes are on the rookie free agent Brian Goins, taking the place the great Jeff Jagger, who's out. Goins signed off the waiver wire a couple weeks ago. And Sam, where does you got to get to?
You want to get right about there, about the 32-yard line. Add 8 yards to the spot. That's 40 yards back. 10 yards for the goalpost. A 50-yard field goal. That's the winning point.
Blitz is on. Passes away. Merton Hanks was flying in off the wing. Incomplete pass. Second down and 10 with 1:57 to play. Both teams with 1 timeout.
And the strategy that Seattle has shown is not to sit back in the zone and make them execute plays. It's force the quarterback to throw the ball quick, maybe before those receivers are ready to catch it. Let's see if they come with a quick pressure again. 3-man rush, but who do they bring from the linebacker in the safety spot?
Second down, 10, empty backfield, shotgun formation, 5 wide receivers from the 35. Good block by Wisney, downfield it goes, incomplete, double teamed was Bobby Ingram, and a flag is back at the 23-yard line, holding the call on Chicago.
Boy, that's tough. You've got holding, and they only came with a 3-man rush. They dropped 8 men back in coverage, Seattle did, rushed with 3, and Chicago's called for holding. That's 5 against 3 if they were holding.
Illegal hands in the face on the offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
The rookie Wisney taking the place for Brockemeyer, who is ill and out.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It wasn't holding. It was just your hands. You jab those hands into the sternum, and if they slide up and they get into the face, you've got to come away real quick. Apparently, he did not do that.
Chicago has 11 penalties on him in this game. As you take a look at the old Brockemeyer. Second down, 20 with the penalty in tow. Back to the 25.
Just get part of it if you're a Chicago Bear offense.
Good time here outside for Milgram. Stays in bounds, breaking the tackle of Willie Williams and flying up the sideline, then out of bounds, wisely to the 37. It's a gain of 11 yards.
That's what they did. They were second down at about 20. They tried to get a little bit more. Going hard to the right now is Glenn Milburn. The nice thing about getting him the ball is, remember, he's the punt returner that carries the ball so well on kickoffs and punt returns. In the open field, he's used to making that first guy miss.
37-yard line of Chicago. Third down and 9. We're in 2-down territory now. Matthews fires a pass, which is dropped at the 41-yard line. Intended for Curtis Conway, who's complaining that he was smothered by Sean Springs.
I don't think he has anything to complain about. This is just going to be good, tight coverage. You can see it right here. May have been a little bit of grab there as he comes out of the block, but he certainly doesn't get there before the ball gets there. That's just good timing. Chris Canny, he seems to be wherever the ball is.
The ex-Bear. So 4th down and 9, a huge play from the 37. Good time for Matthews downfield. Caught for the first down. Grabbed by Marcus Marcus Robinson, 2 years out of South Carolina. The former NFL Europe MVP, a gain of 12 on 4th and 9.
And now they're quick into the 2-minute offense. This won't be a throwaway. This is a real football play.
Matthews again, wide open Milburn, spins on a dime, takes it inside the 45. Chicago with the timeout. Clock is ticking and approaching a minute to play.
They'd like to save that timeout in case they needed to get their field goal team on the field.
Second down and 3. Great time again across the middle. Caught by Ingram, another first down to the 37-yard line. 57, 56, 55 seconds, the clock ticking down.
They're probably 8 yards away from field goal range.
You said the 32. They're right now at about the 38.
Right, just jump inside of that 32-yard line. I'd like to get to the 30, so it wouldn't be quite a 50-yarder.
Flag is thrown. Stop the play. 46 seconds left. Seattle at the timeout. Chicago at the timeout.
Before the snap, there was a false start on the offense, number 24. It's a 5-yard penalty, and inside 1 minute requires a 10 seconds to be run off the game clock. Please set the game clock to 36 seconds, and the game clock will start at the ready for play.
Mike Carey and his crew did a nice job today.
Yes, sir. That's knowing the rules there, too. Those 10 seconds are crucial 10 seconds. They still have their timeout left, but that cost them 5 more yards getting closer to the field goal range. They really need now to make about 14 yards to give Brian Goins a chance.
And he pushes it back to the 43. First and 15, a pass. Batted down. A great play by All-Pro Sean Springs. Now the flag comes in.
The flag is in the backfield. Thrown immediately at the pass.
There are 2 fouls on the offense, both by number 79. Illegal hands to the face, and tripping.
The rookie has been called for 3 penalties since taking the place of Brockemeyer at the left tackle.
There's the
Brockemeyer's back in
That one actually was called
on 79.
Well, it was called on number 79. I think he meant 78.
Brockemeyer is back in.
At any rate, it's called against the Chicago Bears. The problem with that, of course, is they were knocking at the door at field goal, and they're going the wrong way. There's no 10-second march off now on this play. That penalty took place after the snap of the ball.
Penalty first and 25 on the Chicago 46. Blitz is on. Good block by Brockemeyer. Pass downfield. Almost picked off. Incomplete. At the Seattle 33. Looking for 6'5" Marcus Robinson. The pass coverage by Willie Williams on the corner.
Now, Chicago has to be really aware of the fact that they have 1 timeout left. Here's the ball going right there. They have 1 timeout left, and they've got to be ready to use it in case they get the ball down the field, an open receiver in the middle, so they can stop the clock. A long gain right now can hurt them because of the time left, only 26 seconds.
Second down 25 from the 47. Shotgun snap. Matthews deep. He's got the receiver. Out of bounds goes Robinson. What a play. 25-yard gain. Out of bounds at the 28. You said they had to get at least to the 32 for the field goal try.
They are now in field goal range. Watch the concentration as he goes up. Now put the ball away so that it doesn't get knocked out. Right there's the good contact coming from the inside. That's Jay Bellamy. Knocking him out of bounds, which stops the clock, saves their timeout. They are literally in field goal range. But just remember this, the closer they get, the better the odds of making it. Brian Goins in the lineup because Jeff Jaeger is injured. Tried to come back during practice this week. Was not quite ready. They put him on waivers. Goins is in the ball game. They do have a timeout, so they can do just about whatever they want right here on 3rd down. They can run the ball up the middle, let the clock run down, and live or die on the field goal. They go with their extra tight ends in the ball game.
Goins was a rookie free agent picked up in camp because Jaeger was injured. Kicked at Northwestern, just miles up the road here in Evanston, Illinois.
Boy, you don't want him to think about it too long. Remember, Seattle has a timeout left, too. So if they go for the field goal, look for that timeout to be used just to ice the kicker right before the field goal.
So it's 3rd down and 1 from the Seattle 28. Fake handoff. The throw to the tight end, White who is chased and brought down by Willie Williams. A very alert play. You see the clock ticking. And a timeout taken with 13 seconds to play.
Well, they're right on the edge. This is right at the limit of Brian Goins. But their choices are down because they just used their last timeout.
All right, tonight on CBS, you'll see 60 Minutes, Judging Amy, and Seal with the Kiss. All coming up tonight on CBS. Brian Goins, a rookie free agent. One of the most prominent kicks in his college career was the first year that Northwestern went to the Rose Bowl. And he kicked a game winner against the University of Michigan. So into a wind, a 48-yard try, which could give the Chicago Bears a win, or at least a lead, with 13 seconds to play. The holder is Sauerbrunn. The snap by Manley. The kick is up. No good.
Well, it was long enough into the wind. I'm surprised Seattle didn't take that timeout to ice him. They chose to let him go ahead and kick. Let's watch the snap. Looks good. The hole looks solid. The kick is up. Just going to miss to the right. And it is a game of inches.
His second miss today. He missed from 50. He misses here. On what could have been a game-winning or game-leading kick.
Seattle now has to do nothing but sit on the ball, execute one exchange from center to quarterback, and they come from behind in what was a game that looked all Chicago early. Tremendous victory for Mike Holmgren and the Seattle Seahawks. They really battled back into this one. They didn't look like they were matching up with Chicago early, but they never gave an inch.
Missed 48-yard field goal by Goins. Glenn Foley, who started for the New York Jets a year ago, then was supplanted by Vinny Testaverde, threw 2 second-half touchdown passes today. One of 34 yards to ex-Green Bay Packer Derek Mays. One of 49 yards to Fabian Bones, who was cut in preseason by the Chicago Bears.
And the other Chicago Bear that played well, Chris Canty on the defensive side of the ball, was all over it. But it looked like to me that Derek Mays was the guy. He made the big catches earlier in the ball game. He made the big 3rd down catch that kept them alive in this ball game. And they just kept battling back. They were only down 13-0. Chicago never really put them away. Remember, early in the ball game, Chicago drove down on their first drive and fumbled inside the 10-yard line. That one hurt him as much as a late fail to score.
Mike Holmgren gets his first win as the Seattle coach, 14-13.